Chapter 63-72. You must know that there are 4 heavenly kings in the ancient court. Although they are not the emperors, they are all super powerful among the Taoists. Not only the strength must be strong, but also the righteous heart. Both are indispensable. Yang Dingshan, the inheritor of the divine eye who obtained the Yang talisman in the Holy Land. That's why his nickname is called Yang Talisman Winner. Because in the entire ancient world, there are too few inheritors who have obtained the Yang talisman. Even many powerhouses who have successfully cultivated the sequence inheritance have not obtained the Yang talisman. One can imagine how difficult it is to obtain Yang Fu. In fact, this is not the first time he has heard about Yang Fu. He has seen it in the Divine Eye Order. Yang Fu is also a kind of key, but no one knows it is the key to open something. So he regarded it as a key, a symbol of strength. True monarch Xueyang, whose real name is Yang Chonghuan, is the younger brother of Yang Dingtian. The eldest brother is so famous that true monarch Xueyang is not weak at all in the Mahayana period, and is comparable to the existence of the immortal, and his character is more low-key, and he does not do whatever he wants because of his eldest brother's reputation. This is where many people are in awe, but some people will be jealous of it. Another Mahayana monk was very dissatisfied with this. He is the disciple of the old man Tian Can, and he seems to be very good at talking and speaking, but the sternness in his eyes cannot be concealed. After a brief acquaintance with everyone, Zhenxian Ziyu arranged for him to be next to the old disciple of Tian Can, and began to enter the main topic. Fairy Ziyu said with a smile, "True monarch Xueyang, this matter is up to you. I will guarantee that everyone present is my own. Now I can talk about your matter in detail." Everyone knew this, so they all looked at true monarch Xueyang. At the same time, they were very curious. As Yang Dingshan's younger brother, the other party wanted to go out for an adventure. There are also many strong men under Dingtian, so there is no need to find them. And through Fairy Ziyu taking the lead, this is completely unnecessary. Although Fairy Ziyu is well known in Tiantan City, the superpowers she knows only give her face at most. There are very few powerhouses she really knows. Among the 4 true immortals present, only 2 are immortal firsts. 5 steps, the other 2 are the 4th step of immortality, and the level of life and the power of immortality are very general. It would be too far-fetched to say that true monarch Xueyang does not want to rely on his elder brother. The other party is strong, but he is not a fool. Now they are looking at true monarch Xueyang one by one, wanting to hear the reason. True monarch Xueyang also saw everyone's curiosity, so he explained first. The reason why I trouble Fairy Ziyu this time is because I don't want my eldest brother to know about this matter, and the place I found is a bit weird. I need both Mahayana monks and immortal real immortals. In fact, it is not a big threat to me, but it is always very troublesome to be alone, so I invite you to help me. But this matter must be kept secret. No one can say it. Especially my eldest brother cannot be discovered by him. Little friend Xueyang, don't worry. Since everyone is on the same boat now, then everything is in our interests. The old man Tian Can replied with a smile. The rest also nodded. Next, true monarch Xueyang talked about the details. In fact, it is very simple. That is, he discovered a palace of an ancient demon in ancient times. This ancient demon is already at the immortal level, and his strength was very strong back then. His name is not unfamiliar to everyone. It is the name of Fuhai Ancient Domain, Devil God over the sea. Ancient times become immortal ancient demons. Of the 108 ancient demons that year, only 72 became immortal ancient demons, and 36 were in the Mahayana period. Therefore, the 36 ancient domains were completely shattered. Only 72 ancient domains remained. The demon god of the sea is one of them. There must have been many treasures in the palace he built at the beginning, because the ancient demons were greedy and liked to eat all the treasures bred by the heavens and the earth, and each of them was extremely precious. In the ancient times, the ancient realm was full of treasures, most of which were collected by the ancient demons, ate apart, and left apart. Only a few 100,000 years have passed. Even Fairy Ziyu was the same. Her face suddenly became embarrassed, and she said warmly, Xiuyang, you didn't tell me about this before. Aren't you ruining my reputation? Ancient Demon Palace, such a big opportunity. You say that I will ruin your reputation? If you don't have the guts, then just pretend I didn't say it, and everyone will just break up. True monarch Xiuyang is also very tough, otherwise he would not be Yang Dingshan's younger brother. The old man Tian Kim was stunned for a moment, then came out and said, Ziyu, don't be too angry, this matter is indeed too big. I believe that fellow Xiuyang Daoist is not intentional. Once the demon palace is unearthed, the treasures in it are sky high. And with such a great chance, little friend Xiuyang is willing to take the risk to find us. Then there must be a great risk. If there is no risk, why seek us? Although the explanation is pale, the hearts of the people are also very moving. Of course, that's just heartbreak. No one dared to speak out directly, because that is a double-sided shrine. It is the territory of the double-faced Buddha, not to mention the immortal real immortals of the fifth step. Even the Daojun does not have the courage to go wild. Although Jian Wushuang knew about the double-faced Buddha and heard the other party's ruthlessness and arrogance, he did not expect to make the people present so rude. Fairy Ziyu even said directly, Wushuang, I think you don't follow the muddy water in this matter, and I will arrange for you to go to a courtyard in my house to retreat. If they go to the double-faced temple, I'm just wrong that you stay in the mansion first. No matter what the final result is, you can leave when the matter is over. I hope you can understand. This Jian Wushuang understands, not to imprison him, but this matter is too big. If he does not go, in order to keep him secret, it is possible to kill him. Just let him stay in the house. It is already very you're welcome. 6372 Chapter Yangfu Inheritor. Chapter 6373. Jian Wushuang was naturally not angry, nor did he complain about the other party, because he did not intend to refuse. The reason why he is close to Ziyu is because he wants to find some opportunities from the other side to roam in the ancient realm. Finding your own way requires adventure and opportunity. Although this place is 80% unable to help you, it is better than nothing. Moreover, he found that his body needs to devour treasures at all times. Otherwise it will gradually weaken. This is a major disadvantage of the body of the beast. He needs to absorb power all the time. This huge expense, he can't afford to need treasure now. To become an immortal in the future, the immortal divine power, consumed, will also need treasures to fill. That's why he came here with each other. I thought that it should be some small chance and small adventure. I didn't expect that this time was so lucky. The character of true monarch Xiuyang discovered the ancient demon palace. With such a big chance, even Daojun was moved. Let him, a Mahayana monk, meet him naturally and cherish it. It's just that he is in the Mahayana period, and it is not easy to express his position in front of everyone. So he has not opened his mouth, but he also showed a shocked look on his face. This made Fairy Ziyu's voice transmission concern. Although I wanted to go, I couldn't go too far, so I euphemistically said, What does Fairy Ziyu think about this matter? If Fairy Ziyu goes, then go down. Jian Wushuang looked very serious and solemn this time. Previously, in Ziyu's eyes, he had always looked unruly, but now he said such words in such a manner. His heart warmed for a while, and he continued to advise. I can see that your strength is not strong. Weak, you must have a big chance, and I understand that your current situation is stuck in the immortal level. But there is no need to follow the adventure. You have a short cultivation time, and you may not know where the double-sided shrine is, whereas even if it is not discovered by the powerhouses of the double-faced shrine, there is a great risk if you want to go to the ancient demon palace that true monarch Xiuyang said. Once it is discovered, no one can save us. Fight, why don't you stay in my house? And when it's over, I can introduce you to worship an immortal super being. I believe you will soon be able to become an immortal true immortal. Jian Wushuang was moved by the seriousness and responsibility he said. If he is an ordinary person, then this is a great temptation for him. He worships under the immortal Real immortal gate of the 7th step, or even the 8th step. No matter how much Mahayana period wants to worship, there is no way to worship. But Zizi, who has not known for a long time, Yu Zhenxian, willing to lead him, definitely hit the nobles. But he is Jian Wushuang. Not ordinary people. Fairy doesn't need to persuade me anymore. I know the weight of this matter, and true monarch Shuiyang dares to go. I'm not too different from him, so of course I can. If you want to become a super strong, you can't be afraid. Jian Wushuang's tone was firm. This is the truth. If you want to become a super strong, then don't be afraid of danger. Even if there is a 99% chance that you will die on the road ahead, go for it. Once you succeed, you will naturally surpass 99% of your peers. Danger and receipt are equal. His voice transmission with Fairy Ziyu is also the epitome of everyone on the field. At present, only Jinju and Wuho expressed his willingness to go. The rest flinched a little. The old man Tianqin said beautiful words, but he was talking about the risks of this time and the details of the ancient demon palace. It can't be true, because true monarch Shuiyang said it. That is the double-faced shrine, the site of the double-faced Buddha. If there really is an ancient demon palace, how could true monarch Shuiyang discover it? How did he find out? If it is an ordinary place, they will never ask, because everyone knows that everyone has a secret. But this time was different. It was about life. Once found, it will definitely fall. No one can save them by then. Double-faced Buddha. That is a super existence, just like true monarch Zhuang's eldest brother. The key point is that this person is moody and will not give face to anyone, even if true monarch Shuiyang will fall along with him. Shuiyang, little friend, I think everyone has to take a long-term view on this matter. It's too risky. If there is no relative benefit, I see it as death. The old man Tianqin was still struggling with the benefits. If there is something good in it, it can be washed naturally. For example, if he can take 5 steps on the Yuan Dao and become a Daojun, it can indeed be rushed. Jian Wushuang also waited for the other party's answer. There are not many treasures on his body, and now he has to think about the future. In addition, he has just entered the ancient realm, and he really needs to take a few risks and get some treasures to talk about. Although there are many treasures obtained in the Red-Eye realm, very few can be used directly. The treasures of true monarch Yehua were given to Xiang Yang and others, as well as the seeds of life. He ate a few dozen of them himself, but gave Jiang and I a lot. Jiang and I is Jiang Shang's daughter, which is already a matter of Shizue. And this Jiang Shang is the Jiang Shang of the heavenly maiden time and space. Although the memories are shared, the ability to practice is different. Jiang Shang, the goddess, also walked the way of life back then. This way of life also comes from Wanlu Shinmu. Therefore, Jiang and I was influenced by his mother at the level of life, and the benefit of absorbing the seeds of life was the greatest. Naturally, he would use most of the seeds of life for Jiang and I. Jiuchen and Xiang Yang are very ordinary. The general here is the general talent. Fortunately, after Xiang Yang reached the primordial spirit stage, he found all the inheritance of the deity in his soul consciousness. Now it is the smoothest to follow the previous path. Moreover, he came from a big family. At the mortal level, he always used the top-notch resources. It can be said that it is a bit backward now, and it is not as strong as it was in the mundane period. Jiuchen is even worse. He was originally a spiritual body. Although he has a physical body now, he has no cultivation experience. This old guy, if he doesn't do something good for him at that time, he can't stand it anymore. You must know that Jiuchen has been to 9 great worlds. The world here is not an ordinary world, but a different world. The last world is the heavenly fire territory in the ancient territory world. The first 8 worlds are all in different worlds. At that time, with Jiuchen's experience, he can also go to other worlds to collect treasures. Now the physical level is 10 million times more powerful, but it also needs the maintenance of treasures. Otherwise the life level will be lowered. This affects combat power. He can now rely entirely on his physical strength. Although the ultimate kendo has been recognized by the source, it is still a little worse than the physical body of the beast, because the increase of the source is a matter after immortality, and the current combat power is very weak. On the contrary, Ji Dao is as perverted as before, and now he has realized the mystery of all things, and it is enough to maintain his own strength. What's worse now is the physical treasure. As for the source of improvement, now even he has not found a new way, and he is not in a hurry. Chapter 63-74. The Way of the Extreme, the Way of the Sword. What will be the next one? Infinite? The specific direction, he has it, but how to go out, I don't know. This is the bottleneck. You know what you want, but you don't know how to work hard. Some people have been stuck in this step for countless years, and they have been fighting for countless years, but they can't find an answer. Jian Wushuang's comprehension is several times stronger than when he was at his peak, and it may be very fast, but no one can say for sure. While thinking about his own affairs, he listened to the discussions of the crowd. Time passed quickly, and everyone discussed it for a day and a night. In fact, it was a few old fritters who went to grind true monarch Xueyang, until the whole thing was put out of true monarch Zuyang's mouth, and then a decision was made. This is also normal. True monarch Xueyang didn't want to say too much. In fact, everyone who goes there has the same chance. Once all is said, then his advantage is gone. But don't say it, no one wants to go with him. Even his eldest brother would not allow him to go to the double-faced divine palace. That's why they didn't tell Yang Dingtian about this. One righteous and one evil. Yang Dingshan and double-faced Buddha are inherently incompatible. His own younger brother is going to the double-sided divine palace, which in his opinion is simply courting death. The ancient demon palace is in the double-sided shrine, and Yang Dingtian himself can't get it. Ordinary people disguised to enter the double-sided shrine may not necessarily be discovered. But Yang Dingtian pretended to go in, and it would definitely be discovered. This is why true monarch Xueyang did not ask Yang Dingtian for help. He is very noble, but not to the point of being pretentious. If the ancient demon palace was not in the double-sided divine palace, he would choose to tell his eldest brother and let Yang Dingtian go there in person. At that time, the two would be divided equally, and Sanchi would be fine. They could be regarded as cooperation, which could not only maintain dignity, but also help your elder brother and get the other party's approval. But this ancient demon palace is in the double-sided shrine. He was disappointed when he found out. Of course, he has never been to the double-sided divine palace, but he has obtained an ancient devil order, which is the jade pendant of the Secovering Devil. The roadmap is recorded on the top, as well as the equipment of the ancient devil's palace. With the help of ancient jade, he can go in. However, to enter the ancient demon palace, you need your own bloodline imprint. That is to say, the breath is the same. No one can do this, only special beings can do it. However, true monarch Xueyang found from many records that in addition to the main entrance, the palace of the demon god of overturning sea also had a special passage, which was the passage for the subordinates of the ancient demon, who were responsible for the living of the ancient demon and the daily maintenance of the palace. This passage can accommodate 4 true immortals and 3 Mahayana people to enter. There is no need for a bloodline imprint, nor an ancient demon token. So his token is useless. That doesn't mean that there is no advantage. Everyone will enter through a special channel at that time, and the treasures obtained will depend on their abilities. After they made the final decision, the old man Tianqian and Fairy Ziyu also agreed one after another, and the other 2 4-step true immortals also chose to agree. After all, the temptation is too great. Even if the double-faced shrine is hell, you have to go for it. Since everyone agrees, let's start preparing from now on. But remember, before you go, you must declare a retreat to the outside world. This requires the help of Fairy Ziyu. Fairy Ziyu's red lips leaked a small smile, and her voice was charming and said, "Don't worry, I will arrange your cave residence, but then you will need to send a fake body to enter, and you have to do everything." This is natural. Everyone nodded, meaningless. After the date was set, Fairy Ziyu took out an oath stone, and everyone stepped forward to swear 1 drop of blood. The oath was simple, not to reveal this conversation. They are not allowed to attack each other in the double-sided shrine. But after entering the ancient demon palace, the oath was lifted. This oath is relatively easy and does not have much restraint. After entering the ancient demon palace, everyone will do their best. True monarch Xueyang suffered the most from this, but he still recognized it. At least he knew much more about the ancient demon palace than everyone else. For example, where are some treasures in the ancient demon palace? how to enter some secret rooms and so on. But only this advantage. Compared with Tian and others, the advantage is really not big. Because Tian brought his own disciples, and his own strength is also very strong, there is a great opportunity. But among the people present, Fairy Ziyu was the most stable. The two four-step true immortals and Jian Wushuang are all their own. Fairy Ziyu herself is only a four-step true fairy, but she has a lot of treasures, and her source path is also very powerful. The inheritance of the divine I was obtained from the second sequence. And now she has also practiced to the fourth level, and she is close to the fifth level. Not much difference. The strength is not weak. Tianzuan and Wuhou Jinxian is the core of this operation. No matter if it is a slick person like the old man Tian or a cold-hearted person like Wuhou Jinxian, you have to treat this female fairy with care. True monarch Xueyang is the same. Jian Wushuang seems to be sloppy on the surface, but he doesn't care that much in his heart. Error-free update at but the other party's good he remembered. Born for many years, there are not many people who have seen it. The character and purpose of many people can be figured out from the dialogue alone. For example, an old man like the old man of Tian, this kind of person is very dangerous and has no bottom line. Once in danger, he will run faster than anyone else. Then there is Wuhou Jinjuan. This kind of person is relatively old-fashioned, and he is also his weakness. When he is a teammate with this kind of person, he can easily be killed because his actions are not as good as the old man, but in battle, the opponent is still more reliable. In the end, it was Fairy Ziyu, who belonged to a person with exquisite appearance. People who don't recognize her will feel that this kind of person is powerful and has no bottom line. Those who can be recognized will feel that Fairy Ziyu is loyal, because she is the kind of sincere dedication to everyone. In addition, she is a female fairy, and she can win a lot of favor from her peers. That's why true monarch Xueyang chose to let Fairy Ziyu find someone. This is trust. Jian Wushuang has seen many such characters. All the arguments are made regardless of the heart. Do not say what the other party has in mind. It depends on what the other party has done. After the banquet was over, Fairy Ziyu did not leave behind her so-called own people, which could avoid the suspicions of the old man Tiancan and true monarch Xueyang, and also make her own people feel that she was upright. Jian Wushuang did not choose to go out, but stayed in the mansion. He has nothing to prepare, he is invisible and colorless, and he is hidden, and no one can find him. Unless the other side blocks the space, and then attacks indiscriminately. There are some life-saving things, and he is not prepared. If you enter the double-sided shrine, you will threaten your own life, and the body of the beast will be too useless. He has not put immortality in his eyes. Back then, when he was in Desiyu, he was able to beat Dianxian violently with the appearance of Yanxian. Even beheaded Dian immortal. Chapter 63-75. According to the conversion of strength, the 9-step transformation is equivalent to the 5-step true immortal. A 9-turn Dian immortal is a 9-step true immortal. Further up, Daojun. But when he was in Desiyu, his physical body was very ordinary, which was equivalent to perfection in the mortal universe. But in Desiyu of the original universe, it was not so strong. Based on the ultimate kendo at that time, he achieved the leap to battle. Now he has the ultimate kendo plus pole. There is also the body of the beast and the willpower of the beast. His combat power was too strong before. Even if he doesn't have the sword of myriad tribulations in his hand, he can still kill the immortal by leaps and bounds. Ji Dao has not evolved into a starry sky, and he can also master a little of the power of all things to increase himself. There is also the physical body of the beast, which can explode to 10 million times in a short period of time. 10 million times the power of the body in the Mahayana period. Zhenxian also trembled when he came. There is also a strong sense of the head of the world, which can cooperate with the original eye of the candle dragon to perform will destruction. It's not that he doesn't have a whole card, but he has too many whole cards, and many of them can't be used yet. Naturally, there is no need to rely on foreign objects to protect their lives. Now rely on foreign objects to enhance the foundation. His current background is too poor, he can't use the microcosm in the ash tank, and he can't use it anymore. Even if he enters the ash jar and devours a microcosm frantically, he cannot shake the origin of the microcosm. Otherwise he doesn't need to take the risk. Sitting and eating can't empty the ash jar. 9 prison orders. With a thought, he took out this treasure that was equal to the value of the ash jar. Now that he has only comprehended a little, he was greatly shocked by the mystery of the divine eye. Because the mysterious eye technique is stronger than his eternal transformation. The strength of that senior brother is definitely beyond his own, although his eternal change has not reached its peak. When the deity is the strongest, he reluctantly uses the ultimate eternal transformation. It can be created in the follow-up, but at that time the requirements for combat power were already very low, and there was no one who could threaten him in the entire world god continent, so he did not continue to improve his combat power, but began to change and left Huiqing and Wuxia and others began to find their own way to overcome the calamity. If you keep creating, it may be another way. Press this first. The special feature of the mysterious eye technique is that the burning power does not all come from itself. Just look at Wei Jiuxian. He can burn the power of the entire Red Eye realm. This is why he is so powerful. And of course the seed of life Jiang Shang left him. This is the most crucial. But this can't hide his defiantness in the mortal world. When he first heard about the mystery of the eyes of God, he felt that it was unusual. Now, after obtaining the 9 prison tokens left by his senior brother from the Temple of Divine Fire, what he learned from the complete mystery of the eyes of God was far from what he learned. It's even worse than I heard. The mystery of the eyes of God came from before the world god continent was first shattered. If it is traced back, it will even be traced back to the stars. And the legacy left behind is not only in this world. There is also the sky. But he hadn't heard of it. Maybe it wasn't very conspicuous in the starry sky. Maybe it was destroyed. Because the mysterious eye technique is too heaven-defying. This is different from the Lord of the Universe burning his own universe. But the peak of the Lord of the Universe can burn the entire time and space to improve his combat power. And the lost power has to be made up for by the starry sky. If the starry sky has a master, this kind of secret technique will never be allowed to exist. This is his real thought. The complete mystical eye technique is divided into 9 turns. Like all the serial inheritances in the ancient world, they are the inheritance of those who practice the mystery of the eyes. Whether it is the first sequence or the 5th sequence, it is the strength of the inheritor. For example, if the mystery of the eyes has reached the 5th rank, it will be able to leave the first order inheritance hall. The inheritors of the 1st rank can leave the 5th sequence inheritance after they reach the emperor. The first inheritance sequence requires the strength of the Lord of the Universe, plus cultivation to the 5th rank. This is also the reason why the inheritance of the first sequence is rare. The stronger inheritance Holy Land is different, because that is the place of inheritance left in the Divine Eye clan. It is stronger and more perfect than sequence inheritance. The powerhouses of the God-Eyed clan, who have left the inheritance Holy Land, have at least cultivated to the 6th rank, and they are likely to be powerhouses at the level of the cosmos gods. A sacred place of inheritance left by the universe god. This value can come from too much. The ancient world is too small, and such a sacred place of inheritance can appear. It is no wonder that the Holy Master was able to overwhelm the rule of the ancient court in such a short time. It's just that he went a little too far. He is not a powerhouse of the God-Eye clan, but he has to go the way of the God-Eye clan. In Jian Wushuang's view, this person is finished sooner or later. From the inheritance, to what he saw and heard, he had never heard of the existence of the Divine Eye clan. It means that it has been destroyed, and that senior brother has also fallen. How could such a powerful group, and such a heaven-defying secret be destroyed? Even in the starry sky, no one has the ability to destroy so many people without leaving a trace, right? And the mysterious eye technique, it was obvious that someone got it here on purpose. The world he entered was likely to be a large fragment of the original world god continent after it was shattered. The inheritance of the divine eye has been concentrated and thrown into this world. And he was deliberately brought in by teacher Xianyi. And the senior brother handed him the complete mysterious eye secret art. He was a little confused about what this meant. If the mystery of mysterious eyes is forbidden in the starry sky, then I will practice the complete mystery of mysterious eyes, but I can't. Needless to say, there are bound to be trouble getting out. But at the beginning, the star spirit took the initiative to help him. Relying on this relationship, he kept thinking about the connection between Shinkong and teacher Xuani, and that senior brother. First of all, the creator of the starry sky is still alive, and he is also a world beast. But he is the master of the world beasts. When the starry sky was opened, so many world beast powers were integrated into the starry sky. The strongest person in the entire starry sky is undoubtedly the founder of the starry sky. Then there is the power that overflows after the power cannot be absorbed to the extreme. 12 star spirits. These people maintain the entire starry sky. Since the secret technique of the Divine Eye clan is a forbidden technique, he must not be able to practice it. The little friendship he had with Wes wasn't enough for him to do whatever he wanted. Infinite invisible world beast? He frowned and suddenly thought of something. That's the problem with the upper limit. The land of nothingness, that is, the land of infinite, where there are no rules, you can improve at will, as long as you have that potential. It shows that they still have to absorb power. That is the power of nothingness. These world beasts are said to have no upper limit, but they will also reach a top. There was another place that he didn't think much about at first. That is the power overflowing from the starry sky, creating the 12 celestial spirits. It stands to reason that there is no upper limit for the beasts. So how can the starry sky still overflow with power? Could it be that the founder of starry sky has reached the upper limit? This inconsistency made him confused. Mystic eyes can burn power that doesn't belong to you. The power of the starry sky has an upper limit, and the beast has no upper limit. He muttered these rules to himself, and suddenly thought of himself. Chapter 63-76. Jian Wushuang opened his eyes and said excitedly, I understand. His excitement immediately aroused several people in the 9 prisons tower. What do you understand? Did Senior Wushuang realize the origin? He has only lived for a few years, and he was lucky enough to become a Mahayana period. He suddenly realized that he was too lazy to explain to them, and immediately closed his eyes and cut off everything. At the same time, the 9 prison tower was closed, and the people inside could no longer hear what he said. He was too excited just now, so he said it directly, but fortunately he didn't say what he thought, because at this moment, he suddenly understood the intention of teacher Xian Yi after he entered this world. The foreshadowing in the world god continent is regarded as entering the world king god realm, absorbing most of Morosa's power. This is due to his strong consciousness. Why is it strong? Watch the sky chessboard. He absorbed everything that could be absorbed by him in the original Guantian chessboard. There were too many soul substances in these sources, so he strengthened his soul. With a strong soul, there will be a strong consciousness. And then in the realm of the king, his combat power directly surpasses the 9-star cosmic god. It has absorbed so much power from Morosa. Then he left the realm of the king of gods, and he entered this world not long after. With the willpower of the world beast, the body of the world beast is fused. In the end, he obtained the secret magic of the God Eye clan. All this was arranged in advance, and he should have understood it long ago. Everything is to pave the way for him to practice the Magic Eye secret method, or it is all to break his upper limit. In the starry sky, what is the use of being strong? Why only Protoss dare to kill? Because there is no difference between the Protoss itself and the beasts, or because of some problems in the starry sky. The Protoss cannot leave for too long. He is different, and now there is a source similar to the beast. Once successful, just like the world beast, it can survive in the void and even cultivate. This is all being guided by teacher Xuani. From that memory fragment, he can also see that the battle is not in the starry sky, but in a place of nothingness. I should have thought of it earlier. He sighed in his heart. Indeed. Now I think of the meaning of some hindsight. But it's not too late. Because he didn't give up the mysterious eye technique, he still had to practice. But whether it can be used in the starry sky, he has to be careful. After all, the Divine Eye clan has fallen, and the Ghost Eye senior brother may be alive. but most likely not in the starry sky. Possibly in the void. Being able to participate in that battle at the beginning means that it is similar to what he is now, and he has embarked on a disorderly road. Nothingness. The mysterious eye of mystery is burning in a large area. If it is used in a disorderly place, I can't imagine it. In that battle, I did not see other people using mystic eye's mysticism. Now that I have practiced it, maybe it will change the future. Away. He didn't think about it so much before, which caused him to realize it later, and this time he also boldly imagined it. Perhaps he was reborn in this life, and he came back to practice the powerful secret technique of the mystery of the eyes of God. The rest may also practice. At that time, the strength will increase a lot. But this is not enough. You can't rely on the magic eye magic alone. It is a secret magic created by others after all. And he has to create his own peak secret magic. It depends on how long the eternal change can go. If this divine power route is not long, then change another one. He couldn't forget the way he fell in that memory. Can't fail. Thinking of this, he also seized a minute and a second, and began to study the mystery of the divine eye. The first turn corresponds to the first floor of the 9 prisons tower. He is currently only mastering the 3rd level of the first turn. It is equivalent to half of the 5th sequence. However, this is a complete Divine Eye clan secret technique. The inheritance of the 5th sequence, although it can also help the cultivator to achieve the effect of the first glance. But after all, it is divided into strengths and weaknesses. 1 turn of his is 100 turns of others. While comprehending the mystery of the God's Eye, he tested the 9 prisons pagoda. At present, he has not fully grasped the specific function of the 9 prison tower. With the word prison, there won't be any horrors in this tower, right? He thought about it for a while, and there was a possibility, but there was no first floor, and there was no threat. When he opened the 2nd floor, even if there was a terror of being imprisoned, it would not be in the way, and the big deal would be killed. If you can open the 2nd floor, you have the ability to kill the beings that are imprisoned on the 2nd floor. For a month, he has been practicing the mysterious eye technique. During this period of time, he did not pay attention to the matter of the source, because it would not have any effect in a short time. So he tried his best to comprehend the mystery of the divine eye, which made him reach the perfection level at first glance. I don't know if it's fast or slow. He also found suspiciously jumping to the 3rd, 5th, and even 9th turns. Although it can be seen clearly, but in the current realm, it is not useful. This is why someone can directly comprehend the first sequence, which is the corresponding 5th turn. Those inheritors, after all, only got a little fur. If you learn the magic eye secret method in the inheritance Holy Land at the beginning, you will avoid many fork in the road. The Holy Master who attracted the Holy Land merged the 2 sequences. That is, he practiced 2 of the first 5 ranks. And the 2 turns should be pretty close. Then it resonated greatly, attracting a sacred place of inheritance. The arrival of the Holy Land means that in this side of the world, it is very likely that there will be an existence that cultivates to the 6th rank. Although the mysterious eyes technique can be practiced by jumping. But the first 5 turns are very simple and not difficult, and it can even be said that there is no threshold. But to get together, it would be much more difficult than becoming a cosmic god. Therefore, the local powerhouses in the ancient world can integrate at most 2 sequences. That is, 2 of the first 5 turns of cultivation. If you can integrate the 3rd rank, then you can practice the 6th rank. In this way, out of the 9 turns, 4 turns are accounted for. It is expected to open up a holy land and become of the universe. And the strength is still extremely powerful. If you want to cultivate to the 7th rank, you need to master 4 of the first 5 ranks. In the 8th turn, you need to master the first 7 turns perfectly. This difficulty is much more difficult than becoming a cosmic god. There is another key factor, that is the bloodline of the God Eye clan. Only by changing the bloodline of oneself can one cultivate to the 8th rank. Jian Wushuang doesn't have this requirement anymore. He has a bounded beast's flesh and body, which is invisible and colorless, and he can become any ethnic group he wants. Naturally, there is no need to worry about blood. As for the ninth turn, he didn't know the difficulty, because even a cultivator of the Divine Eye clan couldn't reach it. Because Senior Brother Ghost, I did not leave a legacy of rank 9 at all. That token was specially reserved for him, by Senior Brother Ghost I. Perhaps it was given to the rest, those selected by Teacher Schwani. After all, there is a Ghost I Senior Brother, so there are other Senior Brothers, Senior Sisters, Junior Brothers, Junior Sisters, and even Junior Sisters. Chapter 63-77. There is a lot of breath on the sacred mountain in my memory. He stayed at the foot of the mountain by himself, although he killed a lot of powerhouses who broke in, but his strength should not be the strongest. Or is he unremarkable among the many disciples of Teacher Schwani? That can't be done. In the bottom of his heart, he always thought that he was the only disciple of Teacher Schwani, and naturally he was the strongest one. As a result, now I found out that Teacher Xuani's disciple was not only one of his disciples, and he was not the strongest among the brothers and sisters, so I couldn't help feeling jealous. This little old man actually took apprentices behind my back, and it looks like there are many more. No, I have to be the most dazzling one among them. He vowed secretly in his heart. At the same time, he is also speculating about the identity of the prophet, and whether he is also a disciple of the master. In the original memory, the prophet's combat power was not too strong, but the prophet gave him the most mysterious feeling. Maybe not the teacher-student relationship. Originally, it was a bit like Teacher Schwani, because both of them were mysterious, but later in my memory, I found out that the other party was also blocking those extremely strong people at the foot of the mountain, and only then did I know that it was not Teacher Schwani. But the breath of the two is very similar. They are either brothers or brothers, and of course it is not ruled out that they are the illegitimate sons of Master Schwani. When he was thinking wildly, someone in the 9 prison tower came over, and he seemed very anxious. Jian Wushuang, are you trying to murder us? I can't feel my breath anymore. Unparalleled Senior. Jian Wushuang was taken aback by these words, and immediately opened the 9 prison tower and rushed in. Only then did he realize that the world on the first floor of the 9 prisons pagoda had changed. The originally pale world now has more mountains and rivers, like a colorless landscape painting. But the breath has also changed. Originally, the flow of time here is the same as the outside world, because he can't mobilize the flow of time, and the breath is the same as the outside world, because he can use the 9 prison tower to instill power. Therefore, Xiang Yang and others can practice in the tower. But now the power of this place has been rapidly exhausted. It is no longer a cave world that can be cultivated. It is more like a prison. The 9 prisons pagoda was originally a prison, which was normal. He turned his head and glanced at the 3 of them. There was nothing wrong with them, but they just couldn't cultivate here. I've just mastered this place and am not very proficient. I didn't scare you, little Jiang and I. Jian Wushuang looked amiable, like an elder. Jiang and I was a little embarrassed, his cheeks were slightly red and he whispered. No, I was just amazed by the sudden scene. I didn't expect the senior to have such magical powers. That's all. Jian Wushuang said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Xiang Yang and Jiao Chen did not demolish the platform, but asked about the role of the Jiao prison tower. It can't be said that the tower is used to see the mountains and waters. Only then did Jian Wushuang think that he hadn't mobilized the 9 prisons pagoda yet, when his mind force entered the core of the 9 prisons pagoda, and an ancient aura came toward him. In his mind a huge eye also appeared. There are countless colors in the eyes, and what surprised him the most was that there were 10 child holes in the huge eyes. In the child hole in the middle, there seems to be a starry sky, surrounded by 9 child holes. It looks very mysterious. This is nothing. The key is that he felt an aura from the Protoss on the other side. He didn't even think about it. The incarnation of consciousness appeared in the world of consciousness, and he immediately saluted respectfully. Jian Wushuang, the younger generation, see Xingling. Little guy, you react very quickly. The giant eye's voice was formless and colorless, but it still surrounded his mind. It was an air of invincible starry sky. Jian Wushuang lowered his head and did not dare to look at it. But he could hear that the other party was not malicious, so he asked cautiously, Master Xingling, dare to ask you, is it for the 9 Prisons Tower? He has also been in contact with Protoss. At the beginning, Weiss stayed in his original universe for a while. Otherwise, when he saw this kind of existence for the first time, his consciousness might be a little uncomfortable. After all, the other party is too much higher than himself. Fortunately, now that he has the body of the beast, the will of the beast, and then realizes the origin of the beast, he will be of the same clan and clan with the star spirits, and there will be no such sense of separation at that time. Now that he met Protoss, he still felt that he was not in the same world as the other party. Do you know who made the 9 Prisons Pagoda back then? Jian Wushuang was stunned for a moment, and he said without hesitation, It's Senior Brother Ghost Eye. In front of the Protoss, even if you want to hide it, you can't do it. This is the gap that is not at the same level. Yes, but it's not completely right. Huge Eyes pondered. The 9 Prison Tower was indeed refined by your senior brother to seal all the gods, but he softened his heart. Suppressing the Divine Eye clan? Jian Wushuang was completely stunned. Brother Ghost Eye is a powerhouse of the Divine Eye clan. How could he suppress the Divine Eye clan? At this moment, he had 10,000 doubts in his heart, but he did not dare to ask directly. The huge eyes seemed to be able to see his thoughts. Said, You may be wondering why the Ghost Eye wants to suppress your own clan. In fact, you already have the answer in your heart. The power of the starry sky is limited. You are the strongest in time and space, but only the universe God, and even some weak time and space. You must take the initiative to leave after reaching the 9 Tribulations realm. The same is true for the world continent. If you become a time and space god, you have to leave and enter the starry sky. The same is true for the starry sky. It's just that the starry sky does not exclude the starry sky god, but the cultivator who burns the starry sky. But do you know why these worlds are so weak? The giant-eyed star spirit asked back. Jian Wushuang didn't know how to answer for a while, so he tentatively replied, Is it possible that it was burned? Yes, it was burned, but that was a long time ago. At that time, the world god continent had not been broken. Your senior brother once fought with the space-time in the world god continent. He burned the world god continent, and at that time, the continent of the world was very weak. It was easily smashed by the world beast, and attacked the starry sky. The giant-eyed star spirit said that there was a trace of unbearable and sadness in the eyes flashing here. The same goes for Jian Wushuang. He never thought that his senior brother would be so powerful back then, burning the power of the world god continent and the 4 major dimensions of time and space. I am afraid that at that time, the world god continent could still accommodate the space-time god. And it was also the peak time of the world god continent. As a result, the power was burned, and the power consumed by Brother Ghost Eye would not be returned to the starry sky, resulting in the collapse of the world god continent and the 4 great space-time. The world beasts are also attacking at this moment. Because the world continent is burned, the time and space gods can't stay anymore, and they all go to the starry sky, the continent and the 4 great space-times. Chapter 6378. Into the Sky. How many people have to die? Jian Wushuang took a deep breath. Even he couldn't imagine it. One time and space, countless universes. A continent is equivalent to countless time and space. But in an instant, everything was shattered. It is conceivable that senior brother Ghost Eye bears a lot of responsibility. Back then he was high-spirited and high-spirited like you. And he got a big chance. He didn't put the world god continent in his eyes, and he didn't take the starry sky as the end point, but in the end he made a big mistake, and the God Eye clan was also implicated, but they all it's my child. Speaking of this, the voice of the giant-eyed star spirit trembled a little. Jian Wushuang said in a surprised tone, Your child? I forgot to introduce my identity to you. I come from the starry sky. I am the owner of the Giant God Peak in one of the 12-star regions. The God Eye clan is a group created by me, my child. After listening to the introduction of the other party, Jian Wushuang first felt that the other party was too polite, and then his eyes narrowed, and he thought of what Weiss had said to him. Giant. The ancestor of the giant gods is also a star spirit. Giant God Peak is the ancestral land of the giant gods. The huge scorpion in front of him turned out to be the giant star spirit? Jian Wushuang was dumbfounded. The other party was the ancestor of the first group of stars in the starry sky. Giant star spirit. Even the God-eyed clan was a group created by the other party, which gave him a great deterrent effect. You turned out to be a giant Xingling. You are a junior who is clumsy and didn't recognize the identity of Xingling. Jian Wushuang's tone became even more respectful. This is also considered to have grown up listening to each other's stories since childhood. I have always been curious about what kind of person the ancestor of the giant gods was, and today I have seen it. Low-key, restrained, gentle, without air. Don't like to pretend to be a master like Weiss. Although the opponent was originally a master. Haha, don't be so restrained, I've actually seen you long ago. Speaking of which, you still took care of the people of my giant clan at that time. This time, I also hope that you can take care of the children of my clan. The giant star spirit said. There was a plea in his eyes. Jian Wushuang, who saw what the other party meant, was a little unbearable. His deity is also the pinnacle of the universe god, so what if he is the of space and time? The other party is a star spirit, and he begged him at this time? He hurriedly agreed. Lord Xingling, you say it straight, let me release the God's Eye tribe in the 9 prison tower, or the God's Eye tribe who are trapped in this world, I have nothing to say. In his opinion, a celestial spirit talking to him so politely is still the ancestor of senior brother Ghost Eye, so he can't give him face. Besides, when he and senior brother Ghost Eye went out to the same door, they were both disciples of teacher Xianyi, so naturally they had to take care of each other. Even if the giant Xingling does not speak, he will not do anything to the strong eyes of the gods in the tower. If it is not too outrageous, he is ready to let those people go. If your senior brother Ghost Eye wasn't soft-hearted, all the monks of the God Eye tribe should have been locked up in the 9 prisons tower, but unfortunately he is soft-hearted. There is not a God Eye tribe on the 9 floors of the 9 prison tower. The giant Xingling said in a tone there is annoyance. It seems to be regretting and complaining about why Ghost Eye didn't listen to him carefully, suppressing the monks of the God Eye tribe in the 9 prison tower. At least they can survive. Jian Wushuang didn't react for a while, and said in surprise, Brother Ghost Eye is soft-hearted? Where did the God Eye family get? There were thousands of thoughts in his mind, and he thought, could it be that this ghost-eyed senior brother rebelled with the God-eyed clan? All ran out of the starry sky? There is a possibility that senior brother Ghost Eye is so powerful in the disordered land, enough to take care of the clansmen. Moreover, the mysterious eye secret technique is most suitable for disordered places, burning casually, no one cares anyway, and the power of disorder is unlimited. He originally thought that the destruction of the Divine Eye clan had something to do with the 9 prison tower, but now it seems that he thought too much. But the next giant Xingling's words shattered all his thoughts. Died. I personally destroyed the Divine Eye clan. The voice of the giant Xingling was trembling. And he destroyed his own child with his own hands. Killed all the God Eye monks. Ghost Eye also broke with him and left the starry sky. Jian Wushuang was completely stupid when he heard this explanation. He couldn't believe it. This big eyeball in front of him looks like a good old man. How could he do such a cruel thing? Jian Wushuang took a deep breath. He didn't dare to speak at this time. He was afraid that the giant Xingling would destroy him too. The giant Xingling thought of this matter, and his tone became sad and said, but the God Eye tribe in this world, with the help of Wanlu Shinmu, has recovered again. They will make a comeback soon. I hope you can give them one this time. Opportunity, let them enter the 9 prisons tower instead of beheading them all. What? He was not surprised by the recovery of the Shenyan clan, but by Wanlu Shinmu. Wasn't that thing taken by Weiss? Why did he appear in this world again? After seeing his doubts, the giant star spirit explained patiently. Little guy, don't you understand? You are the chosen powerhouse. Your future road has long been paved, and Wes will help you on this road. As well as your ghost-eyed senior brother, and the mysterious prophet, they are all helping you. Jian Wushuang is not stupid, and he soon understands it all. Master Xingling, Did you kill that world beast back then? Jian Wushuang said, pointing to his own body. The giant Xingling blinked his huge eyes, and it was a default. Then everything is as the giant Xingling said. Entering this world was arranged by the prophet. And this world is all the plans of Brother Ghost Eye and Weiss. Wanlu Shenmu was thrown into this world, and the Shenyan clan was revived. Senior Brother Ghost Eye gave him the body of a world beast, as well as the 9 prison tower. The meaning is obvious, even if the giant star spirit does not come. His mission is probably to suppress all the powerful gods. And all of this was premeditated by Senior Brother Ghost Eye and Weiss. The prophet was responsible for bringing him in. The road is indeed paved, but if he hadn't taken down the body of the beast back then, I'm afraid he wouldn't have the chance to see Teacher Xuani again, right? Lord Xingling, I'm very curious. Why did you choose me to suppress the resurgent god eyes? If you want to suppress them, why let them revive? This is his last question. At the same time, I also have an answer from the lake in my heart. Just after mastering the first floor of the 9 prisons pagoda, the giant Xingling came, and I am afraid it is also for him. It's very simple. The purpose of reviving the Divine Eye clan is to let you quickly master the complete Divine Eye secret technique, and the 9th turn Divine Eye secret technique. Since your brother created it, no one has been able to successfully cultivate, even if your talent is good, but it is also difficult to do it alone. Even if there is hope, your mysterious teacher doesn't have time to wait. He teaches his disciples, all he wants is speed, and the best treasure for the best chance. I have seen it too many times, and I know very well how he taught it. It's just that he hasn't appeared in the starry sky for a long time. So arrange your senior brother to help. As for Weiss, he should be helping you on the order of the king. The giant Xingling pondered. Chapter 63-79. Jian Wushuang couldn't help trembling when he heard the God King. That is the founder of Starry Sky. Even he gave Teacher Xuani face like this. It seems that he underestimated his teacher before. But the core point lies in the Divine Eye race. Brother Ghost Eye actually chose the method of sacrifice, so that he could quickly master the mysterious method of the Divine Eye. Is this cruel? But it is good enough for the giant star spirit to destroy the ethnic group he created. Since it's a suppression, what does Lord Xingling mean? Jian Wushuang said in a panic. Giant God Star Spirit said sadly. I hope you don't devour their power. You must be thinking too much about this. I, Jian Wushuang, can't do such shameless things. Jian Wushuang patted his chest and assured. But the eyes of the giant Xingling told him that the other party did not believe it. Thinking of the giant Xingling saying that he had seen him, and it was a long time ago. Thinking of the giant Protoss that appeared in the Qi temple, he instantly understood. At the beginning, the giant Xingling must have felt that his family had a cause and effect and glanced at it. This glance should be to see him offering sacrifices to King Bai. So the other party was worried that he would sacrifice the God-eyed clan again. So he came here to ask for mercy. This is simply too polite. He felt a little embarrassed for a while, so he took the initiative to promise. Don't worry, Lord Xingling, I don't want to embarrass the Shenyan clan. And I will collect them one by one in the 9 prison tower. The prison tower is given to Star Spirit, presumably my ghost-eyed brother. I also hope that Master Star Spirit and his own ethnic group can get the understanding of the ancestors. In fact, the reason why Xingling is so polite is also the credit of his ghost-eyed brother. Ghost Eye's strength is very strong, and the giant God Star Spirit is naturally very proud. Otherwise, when the entire Divine Eye clan was destroyed, it was obviously reluctant to take action against the Ghost Eye senior brother. Sure enough, when he talked about senior brother Ghost Eye, the giant God Star Spirit was happier. I don't know what to think about him. It's not bad that you are the strong person chosen by that person. Your future achievements will never weaken your ghost-eyed brother, and I am also very optimistic about you. As for the 9 prison tower, you don't have to leave it to me. Wait for your mysterious eye technique. When it's done, there will be someone who needs him more. I won't say who it is, and when the time comes, you will naturally understand. The giant Xingling became more pleasing to the eye the more he looked at Jian Wushuang, and sighed in his heart, if only ghost eyes were so clever. It will not let the entire Divine Eye clan be destroyed in his own hands. Jian Wushuang licked his lips. He would not compliment people in vain. This giant star spirit is also a star spirit, and it is also the ancestor of the giant clan. There must be many treasures. Ghost Eye's junior brother, then don't give me a greeting or something, so as to deepen the relationship? Glancing at Jian Wushuang, the giant Xingling's eyes rolled, and he said, I came here in a hurry this time, and I didn't prepare any gift that I could give, so I will give you a special treasure, which is what I once wrote in the ancient book of the starry sky. A leaf taken down. After finishing speaking, a blue leaf with 100 veins appeared in the eyes of the giant Xingling. Although it was only the size of a palm, it contained 10,000 layers of mystery. Jian Wushuang looked at the leaf, swallowed his saliva, and quickly said politely, Master Xingling is too polite. It is an honor for you to come to see me. How could I be so embarrassed to accept your gift? He didn't take the initiative to pick it up, and the leaves floated in front of him. Little guy, I hope your future will be as optimistic as your character. After the giant Xingling finished speaking, the huge eyes also disappeared from Jian Wushuang's mind. All that remained was a blue leaf exuding the power of the stars. Go slowly. Jian Wushuang bowed and bowed. When he got up again, he eagerly grabbed the leaf. Hold it in your hand and feel comfortable. This leaf is a space-time of its own. I'm afraid the gods of space-time will be jealous when they see it. It's not a matter of being a star spirit. It's such a treasure when you shoot it, but I don't know what use this thing is for me now. He pondered in his heart and thought of the star tree that the giant Xingling said. At the beginning, Weiss also said that there is an ancient tree in the starry sky that is the same age as the starry sky. It is rumored that when the starry sky was created here, it was because the ancient tree grew here. Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang became even more excited, and hurriedly used his mind power to probe the leaf. As a result, a terrifying will instantly hit his soul. If it weren't for the will of the beast, this one would be enough to kill him. It's too powerful, unless it is my deity's peak combat power to investigate, or the mind force can't get in at all. He was excited at first, but also a little disappointed. Because it is not used now, just like the gray tank, it can only be watched, and cannot be turned into combat power immediately. Just when he was worried about gain and loss, he found that the leaf could be freely transformed, and it was also invisible and colorless. The transformation of the leaves follows his mind. Variety. With a move of his mind, the leaves turned into battle armor. A pair of blue armor appeared in front of him. Change again. Swish. The leaf instantly turned into a blue sword. A divine sword filled with the power of the starry sky, although it is not as good as the sword of myriad tribulations that he has cultivated. It is also stronger than the ordinary treasure of time and space. I made a profit, I made a lot of money. Jian Wushuang shouted excitedly. This leaf can change at will. Not only can it be transformed into a battle armor to protect itself, but it can also be transformed into an attack treasure. No, I didn't even drop blood to recognize the master. How can I manipulate this leaf? He was stunned for a moment, and then he understood. This must be the giant star spirit that helped him do it. Otherwise, he would not be able to recognize the master with the most primitive drop of blood, let alone recognize the master consciously, because his mind power can't enter the inside of the leaves at all. After thinking for a while in my heart, I ordered, relax your consciousness and don't resist. His mind power carefully probed in again. The result was the same as before, shaking him out. The leaves also flew around him, as if telling him to stop trying. Even if you were lying down and let you beat me, you couldn't beat me if you were exhausted. Jian Wushuang also gave up completely, so he could only simply use the leaves of the starry sky tree, the willow vine that transforms into the 10,000 willow sacred tree. Whoa! The leaves in the shape of the battle armor instantly grew a vine, and began to wave freely. Stop! Jian Wushuang hurriedly stopped the other party, and at the same time felt like his brain was being pumped. Immediately with the leaves, he left his own world of consciousness first. Returned to the real world, inside the 9 prisons tower. The 3 of Xiangyang were looking at themselves with curious eyes. Jian Wushuang also looked down at himself, and found that he had an extra pair of blue armor. Chapter 6380. Brother Wushuang, you just entered the Epiphany? Xiangyang asked curiously. In fact, the time for the Epiphany was very short, and they didn't dare to disturb them. Well, almost. Jian Wushuang sighed and said, there is one more thing to inform you. If you feel that your strength is enough, you can go out now. If you still want to practice here, I will open up a small cave for you. Power will not be isolated. After completely mastering the 9 prisons tower, he can manipulate the world on the first floor at will. Naturally, another world that can be cultivated can be opened up. But the space is relatively small, but it can barely make the 3 people stretch their legs, and the length and width are only 100,000 miles. Moreover, this small world, with mountains and water, and some mortal animals that were created at random, was much better than the white expanse before. After entering this world, Xiangyang nodded with satisfaction. Yes, it is much more pleasing to the eye than before. I am very close to the Mahayana period now, and it is estimated that it will be about 30 years. I will come out to help you when I reach the Mahayana period. You better practice. Jian Wushuang said helplessly. It is difficult for these 3 people to help him, especially Jiuchen, who is simply a waste. If it weren't for the fact that he had obtained so many good benefits from the Divine Fire Palace, and the other party's loyalty to the Divine Fire Palace, he would have thrown him away long ago. Stay here for now, and later increase his strength to immortality. If he can still meet the God of Fire Palace Master, he will return it to the other party. If he can't, then find a place to throw Jiuchen away. And Xiangyang, now that he has a bright future, it can be said that he is an existence that can turn into a dragon when he meets the situation. Moreover, there must be strong people above the Cosmos Master in this world. Xiangyang can't help him with him, and there are dangers. As for Xingluo's affairs, he doesn't care now. He is also a big man in a certain universe. After he regained some of his strength, he was arrested to be Xiangyang's wife. Then there is Jiang and I. This is the most important. She is Jiang Shang's daughter, and also the daughter born to Huiqing. It must be taken out safely, although it is a clone. But the bloodline is real. This should be brought to Huiqing, so naturally he should stay by his side, lest there will be an accident, and it will be too late to regret it. The key is to go out and have no explanation. He didn't want Huiqing to misunderstand again. In the end, it was Jiang Shang. After listening to the other party's explanation, he seemed to be trapped somewhere or offended someone. He had to find a way to rescue it and give it to Huiqing together. This is a great humankind, enough to make up for the mistakes he made in the first place. Thinking of this, he unconsciously raised the corners of his mouth. Okay, you all go to your own practice. You can tell me by voice transmission if you need any treasures. Later, I will prepare a sky for you. Don't use your mind power to observe the outside world. This time I am going to a very dangerous place, so as not to be caught when it is exposed. You can transmit the sound to me, and if you want to see the outside world, just use the sky to watch it. Both Android and Apple. With one hand, he condensed a piece of sky through which he could see the outside world. But not much. With him as the center, he can only see the scene within 10 miles around. Great, I just want to see the ancient demon palace. Xiangyang and Jiuchen are very happy. As long as Jiang and I looks preoccupied, she is worried about Jian Wushuang, and also feels that all this should not be borne by an uncle who admires her mother. He must also work harder to live up to the cultivation of Uncle Jian Wushuang. Thinking of Jian Wushuang desperately trying to find treasures for her outside, guilt flooded into her heart, and she secretly swore that in the future, no matter what Jian Wushuang did, she would repay her kindness, even if it was retirement. If Jian Wushuang knew what she was thinking, he would be very relieved. At this time, a sound transmission from the outside world brought Jian Wushuang back to the outside of the 9 prisons tower. Wushuang, it's time to go. Fairy Ziyu's sweet voice came in, and Jian Wushuang hurriedly got up and walked out of the room. It was the previous tea room, and everyone had gathered. It seems that in this month, these people have changed the guise on their bodies. They even sold a lot of treasures in exchange for a lot of trump cards. At this time, There was no fear in their eyes, but a look of eagerness to try. Fellow Taoist Wuho, I heard that you sold a permanent cave on the mountain. I really admire it. The old man Tianqian sighed with emotion. But I didn't expect Wuho Zhenxian to tease rarely. No matter how hard you fight, you can't compare to you. You can even sell a concubine. My cave mansion is nothing. The old man Tianxuan was not angry, he just said, it's all outside the body. Indeed, even if the old man Tian consoled his own father at this time, Jian Wushuang felt normal. On the contrary, the cave dwelling on the sacred mountain sold by Wuho Zhenxian. You are indeed admirable. Although it is only a cave on the mountainside, it is permanent. If you don't need it yourself, you can rent it out, and it will be a considerable income all year round. Simply buying and selling, even a T-shaped cave house on the mountainside can sell for millions of sky-high prices. The key point is that this kind of priceless permanent cave is difficult to buy, and it is difficult to buy it back after selling it. But from now on, it can be seen that Wuho Zhenxian is definitely a thigh figure among them this time. Millions of immortal crystals can buy a lot of powerful backers. After all, a 5-step true immortal is generally worth about 1 million yuan. The poor don't even have 1 million immortal crystals, and the rich have no upper limit. For example, true monarch Xueyang, a Mahayana period is complete, and his worth is probably the highest in the field. Rumor has it that he has a treasure. That is the treasure of the immortal capital. Needless to say, it must have been given by his eldest brother, Yang Dingtian. With this treasure alone, true monarch Xueyang can gain a firm foothold among the immortals. In fact, some people are not bad. The 2 4-step true immortals are also the top 4-step true immortals, and they are also the 6th grade origin path. At the same time, they have cultivated the inheritance of the 3rd sequence to the 5th level, and their combat power is comparable to that of ordinary 5-step true immortals. Not to mention the old man Tianqian, even the concubine has been sold, he is more prepared, and this old guy looks shameless. In fact, the background is very deep, and the combat power is also very strong. He is more qualified than Wuho Zhenxian. Yes, the 4th grade origin path has the strongest immortality. It is also the most powerful immortal in the team this time. Fairy Ziyu's origin is the same as Wuho Zhenxian. She is also very valuable and has a wide network of contacts. This time she also got a lot of trump cards to save her life. Several true immortals and true monarch Xueyang were all prepared, and the other one in the outer Mahayana period was a disciple of the old man Tianqian. Chapter 63-81. But no one paid any attention to him. Okay everyone, according to the original plan, let's go to Shinshan to register first, and then take advantage of the darkness to leave the Temple of Heaven. It is good. Everyone got up together, and left one by one from the back door of Fairy Ziyu's mansion. After arriving at Shinshan, Fairy Ziyu had already arranged for a friend to be responsible for registering them, and they also deliberately left a message to their friends that they were going to retreat. Previously, I bought and sold treasures for the purpose of retreating. That makes sense. After registration, they left quietly one by one in the middle of the night. Leaving is naturally not registered. When they arrived at the city gate, Fairy Ziyu had already arranged everything. They took a flying boat and easily passed the city gate. After leaving Tiantan City, he moved forward at full speed and galloped away in the direction of the double-sided Divine Palace. Inside the boat, Fairy Ziyu pointed to a vortex nebula in front of her and said, "Look, there is the vortex sect in front of you. After passing the vortex sect, we have to give up the flying boat and choose to fly slowly." The vortex sect, I have been here a few times before. Speaking of which, the vortex sect is also very daring, and even dares to open a sect near the double-sided God Palace, said the old man Tianqian with emotion. This place is far away from the Temple of Heaven, which is the northern part of the Fuhai ancient domain. Not all powers and all powerhouses are in Tiantanqing. In addition to the holy city, there are many strong people and forces in the ancient region. For example, there are many great forces in the northern region of the Fuhai ancient region. Even the nest of the super-powerful double-faced Buddha is here. The double-sided shrine is very large, accounting for 1/3 of the northern territory. If it is considered a holy city, it is equivalent to 1/10 of the entire sea-covering ancient territory. With such a large site, the two-faced Buddha dared to be so arrogant. True monarch Zhuang's eldest brother, Yang Dingtian, who is the #1 powerhouse in the Fuhai ancient domain, is nothing but a villa the size of a battlefield thousands of miles in the city of Tiantan, which is used to recruit powerhouses from all over the world and cultivate his own followers. Yang Dingshan's power is considered elite, so it is useless to have a particularly large site, but there are also many ways to make money. Some large and small sects outside the city are all connected with Yang Dingtian. Only in this northern region, Yang Dingtian has been unable to get involved. In addition to the double-faced shrine, there are 6 major forces in the northern region. Although these 6 forces have nothing to do with the double-faced shrine, they must establish a good relationship with the double-faced shrine to establish a sect in the northern region. Even if the double-faced Buddha has a perverse personality and doesn't like to make friends, his subordinates are different. As far as the vortex god religion they passed through, it was one of the 6 major forces in the northern territory except for the double-faced divine palace, and there were strong Taoists in the sect. There are hundreds of true immortals. Looking at the entire sea-covering demon domain, it is also a powerful force. Wu Hozhenjuan said at this time, "I have a good friend in the Vortex God sect, and his status is not low. I heard him say once that the Vortex God sect can gain a firm foothold in the Northern Territory because of the saintess in the sect and the double-faced God Palace. Qifeng, one of the 4 great protectors, has a leg. I can't see it. Brother Wuho knows this kind of thing like the back of the hand." The old man Tianxuan teased. Everyone is used to it. After hearing this, Fairy Ziyu couldn't help but sigh with emotion. "I know the maiden of the whirlpool you mentioned. She was a servant girl in the city lord's mansion, and later she worshipped Grandma Yinhua as a godmother with me, but she walked more extreme. I was removed from the list soon after, and then disappeared, and then I heard that she was already the holy maiden of the vortex, and her strength was also a 7-step true immortal, which has left me far behind. I didn't expect that saintess to have such an experience." True monarch Xueyang was also a little surprised. The city lord's mansion is a special existence. Although the city lord's strength is not as strong as that of his elder brother, he is a person sent from the Holy Land. He belongs to the #1 person with a hard background, and even his elder brother will not easily offend him. Therefore, people who come out of the city lord's mansion will give face to all parties. Moreover, this maid has also worshipped the mountain of Grandma Yinhua like Fairy Ziyu, which shows that the talent is not bad. Grandma Yinhua also belongs to the top group of powerhouses. She can be ranked in the top 10 in the entire Tiantan city. There are in the top 20 existences in the entire Fuhai ancient domain, and there are countless beautiful girls under her door. Only the outstanding, or recommended by others, can become her goddaughter. Of course it's just a name. Just like the current Ziyu fairy, she is already a 4-step real fairy, and she doesn't need to rely on Yinhua Grandma to survive, but she often goes to say goodbye to Yinhua Grandma, or go to visit and send some rare treasures as filial piety. That's how relationships are maintained. The Fuhai ancient territory is very large, but the circles of the strong are all connected, not as closed as the Red-Eye world. After passing through the whirlpool, Fairy Ziyu took the flying boat and started flying at a low altitude. Fairy Ziyu took out an incense burner, with a looming thought power floating above it, and said, "I have a treasure that can isolate the breath, and you should not be more than 100 meters away from me." Purple Qi is coming from the east? The expression of the old man Tian Kim was shocked. He knows that this treasure is extremely valuable. There are few 5-step true immortals, and usually only 7-step true immortals can afford it. It is the best fairy weapon to isolate the breath. And it is still isolated from the range, can isolate the space of 100 meters near the purple furnace. Once isolated, Daojun wants to detect that they also need to be within 100 miles of them. Below the 7-step true immortal, unless you use the treasure, you can't find them at all. 7-step true immortals and above, they need to be close to 1,000 miles range, and they can detect the abnormality by covering them with mind power. Such a treasure is definitely a life-saving weapon. I didn't expect Fairy Ziyu to prepare such a treasure, but I couldn't find a treasure that shielded Xiang Yang's breath this time. True monarch Xueyang felt a little regretful. Fairy Ziyu said Tanran. I only got it occasionally back then. I haven't had the chance to use it for so many years, and this time it just came in handy. With the purple furnace shielding, we have succeeded halfway this time. Wuhou Zhenxian rarely leaked a smile. The originally tense atmosphere has also eased a lot. Because they are flying at low altitude, their speed is not very fast. True monarch Xueyang took out the ancient demon token, probed the route, and said, Fairy Ziyu, go southwestward and travel 300 million miles. There will be a red river of blood. Then we need to follow the river of blood. Blood river. Fairy Ziyu frowned. She had known the double-faced divine palace before, and among them, she knew about the blood river. Originally, the river was not red, but when the double-faced Buddha opened up this place, he killed a group of people and dyed the entire river bloody. Now that tens of thousands of years have passed, the river is still bloody. It is conceivable how many strong men were killed in the beginning. The river Xueyang said should be the territory of the blood demon in the double-faced divine palace. He is a 7-step true immortal, so be careful when that happens. There is no particularly strong true immortal on the road ahead. Tian the disabled old man also shared the information he knew. Chapter 6382. Fairy Ziyu nodded, and her speed increased a lot. After walking for a day, everyone finally entered the double-sided shrine. It is said that it is a mansion, but it is actually more like a huge ancient territory. It has not been developed by the sect, and there are still some monsters living here, but their strength is very weak and there is no threat to them. The only thing to worry about is encountering the true immortal in the double-sided shrine. Once discovered, it's a chain reaction. They just went to the blood river, and on the way they passed the cave dwellings of several true immortals. This is still the real immortal cave dwelling on the bright side, and some real immortals have weird personalities, just like the double-faced Buddha. It is estimated that no one knows where their cave dwellings are. What everyone is most afraid of is this situation. If they encounter a Taoist with a strange personality, they open a cave on the periphery of the double-sided shrine and hide their identities. When they are discovered, they will be completely ruined. There are not many normal people in the group of strong people who follow the double-faced Buddha. In particular, the 4 guardians around him, the top powerhouses among the various capitals, each killed countless people, and even provoked the emperor outside, so he went to the double-faced Buddha. Hit by these people, even if they are monks in the double-faced temple, they are likely to be finished. Not to mention the powerhouses from Tiantan City, coupled with the special status of true monarch Xueyang. I am afraid they will not know how they died by then. So along the way, I was also frightened, and did not dare to be careless. Even deliberately stay away from the sacred mountain, only daring to fly at a low altitude on the plain. Most of the strong still like to open up caves in the mountains. Too few people have opened up caves on the plains. Not at all though, but a lot less, so there is less chance of encountering the strong. Fairy Ziyu led the way. It can be said that everything was calculated and everything was done with the utmost care and caution. If they still encountered Daojun on the periphery, it could only be said that they were too unlucky. After flying for a day, I finally walked more than half of the distance. It was very close to the blood river, and I could feel the smell from the blood river. And there are more monsters here, especially bloodthirsty monsters. There is a group of bloodthirsty bats in front of you. If you take a detour, you need to walk 30 million miles more, and that area is a mountain range, so the risk is a little big. Fairy Ziyu asked for advice after she finished speaking. The old man Tiankin raised his brows slightly and asked, "What strength are those bats?" Bat King is a true immortal. It is estimated that it is less than the 2nd-step true immortal. The rest are in the Mahayana period, and there are a few Yuanshan period monsters. The number is about 30,000. In the vicinity of 700,000 miles, there are only 2 true immortals. The monsters of the level do not have the aura of a cultivator. Fairy Ziyu told the surrounding situation together. At this time, Jinju and Wuho said. Let's walk over and give them the low altitude. Everyone is flying at a low altitude, and those bats are also flying at a low altitude. Although the breath is isolated, they can still be seen by the naked eye. Moreover, the bats have strong sensing ability and are easy to find. So only on land. Although this will affect the speed, it is much stronger than the hands. True monarch Xueyang is a little anxious, because the speed is too slow, and they have not reached the blood river yet. The slower they are, the greater the risk. Immediately he said. Flying at a low altitude and encountering direct beheading, there is no need to waste time. It is very close to the blood river, there are often monster fights, and the smell of blood is very strong, which can completely cover those bat monsters, even if there are monks. You won't care if you find out. I agree, said the old man Tiankin. Fairy Ziyu nodded and said, Okay, brother Tiankin will take the shot later. No problem. The old man Tiankin is very confident, and it is not difficult for him to deal with a group of weak bat monsters. The reason why he was allowed to take action was also because of a special fairy weapon. Soon they were close to the bat colony. At this time, the old man Tiankin also took out a black gourd, uncorked the bottle, and a scorching flame swept out instantly. There is no immortal power in the flame, and it is more low-key and safe. But the power is extremely powerful, and the black flames that spurted out instantly burned the entire bat group to ashes. The entire space is relatively weak. After solving the trouble of blocking the road, the people who came from Tiankin hurriedly shouted, Go! Fairy Ziyu instantly increased her speed, and the rest of the people followed. Solving the bat colony is just a small episode. After walking tens of millions of miles, the group of monsters encountered more and more. They even met a few true immortals who were beast controllers. They each commanded millions of monsters. Although their own strength is only a 5-step true immortal, once they control the monster to besiege the enemy, their combat power is equivalent to a 6-step or even a 7-step true immortal. Damn! How come there are so many people from the Beast Master sect in the double-faced divine palace? The old man Tiankin cursed in a low voice. Fairy Ziyu also frowned and shook her head. I don't know, but they can come. It should be related to a big man in the double-faced shrine. Maybe that big man is nearby. You must be careful. Yes. Everyone agreed. Jian Wushuang and the team didn't care, because the range he could sense was much larger than that of Fairy Ziyu's purple furnace. He could feel the aura of all the powerhouses in the hundreds of millions of miles around, and even in the entire double-faced divine palace. Unless the other party is the master of the universe, there is no way to isolate his exploration, because the Lord of the Universe has already become a universe and has mastered a space. The isolation of the self-law, Jian Wushuang is currently unable to detect. But when he mastered the origins similar to the world beast, the self-contained universe could not isolate his mind power. However, in the ancient world, there is no master of the universe, and his current mind power is naturally sufficient. It's just that his current strength is too weak. Although he is not afraid of those true immortals, he is only in the Mahayana realm, so it is better to keep a low profile. He didn't speak the whole way. Just follow behind Fairy Ziyu, and let him go wherever he goes. If he said that when he just killed the bat, there was actually a 7-step true immortal below, I am afraid it would scare everyone. However, the true immortal seemed to be in seclusion, and had no intention of paying any attention to them. It is also considered that the luck of the people is better. It's hard to say now. There are many strong breaths in the blood river, and they have to walk along the blood river, and they will inevitably approach some true immortals, but the distance is not enough for the other party to detect them. 30,000 miles away, there is an 8-step true immortal. Jian Wushuang's heart moved. Next to the true immortal, there are dozens of 7-step true immortal level monsters, and he should be a strong man in the Imperial Beast sect. 100,000 miles away from them, there is a 9-step true immortal. Not only can they detect their location, Jian Wushuang can even detect what the other party says. Chapter 6383. Ancestor Blood River? He hadn't heard of this name before. He had heard from them that the Gore Fiend was a super powerful man sitting in the Blood River. Why is there a Blood River ancestor? However, from the later investigation, he learned that this Blood River Patriarch is the existence at the source of the Blood River, known as the Blood River Patriarch. He is also one of the 10 true immortals under the double-faced Buddha. The status is very high and the strength is strong. He is a second-grade original source, and the Magic Eye secret method of cultivation is also the inheritance of the second sequence. And he has already cultivated to the level of consummation. The combat power of the ancestors of the Blood River is already comparable to that of Dao Jun. But the origin path has not yet been cultivated to perfection. Once consummated, it is the top existence among Taoist monarchs, and he is only one of the 10 true immortals under the double-faced Buddha, and there are 9 who are powerful with him. He didn't say anything about the Blood River ancestors' appearance here, and everyone naturally didn't know. If you know, I am afraid that the pressure will be so great that everyone collapses. Call! A river of blood traveled in the distance, and everyone let out a sigh of relief. But this is just the beginning. It's finally here, Brother Shuiyang. How far is the journey? Asked the old man Tiancan. The denomination of true monarch Shuiyang was still severe, and he said in a dignified tone, "It's not too far. Then keep walking along the Blood River, and you can reach the Yinhai Mountain in the double-sided Shinfu, where is the ancient devil's palace. It's almost 1 billion miles, and the speed behind us will only get slower and slower. I'm afraid it will take at least half a month." Fairy Ziyu calculated. In fact, this time is not too long. The main reason is that the deeper you go, the more powerful people will be. This is what they are afraid of. Yunheishan, that is the site of the Yunshan Dharma Protector, one of the 4 major Dharma protectors, and we have to walk the Blood River. Don't we have to pass through the source of the Blood River, which is the site of the ancestor of the Blood River? Is there any way to bypass it? The route? The old man Tiancan worried. The ancestor of the Blood River, that is one of the 10 true immortals under the double-faced Buddha, among the true immortals of the entire covering ancient domain, can be ranked in the top 100 existences. And he likes killing the most, and he is an Azura field himself. He is a more frightening existence than the protector of Yunshan. Fairy Ziyu also saw that everyone was a little scared, so she comforted. It's not that it can't be changed. The source of the Blood River is very close to the core of the double-sided shrine, and around the source of the Blood River, there are powerhouses everywhere, no matter where it is from. Rao is very dangerous. Although the Blood River ancestor is violent, he is also the most arrogant and conceited one. He will not use his mind power to detect the surrounding. Besides, no matter how strong he is not a Daojun. As long as he is not within 1,000 miles, he is not. Law senses us. Okay. The old man Tiancan nodded. True monarch Shuiyang also said, "Since the route has been decided, let's act quickly. I always feel that there is danger nearby, so let's leave as soon as possible." Fairy Ziyu smiled and continued to move forward along the river of blood, and everyone followed one by one. Jian Wushuang glanced at true monarch Shuiyang with a deep meaning. This guy was able to detect the existence of danger, probably because of the Blood River ancestor, and the 8-step real immortal of the Beast Master sect. He is in the Mahayana period, but he can feel the breath of such existence, and the treasure on his body is not as simple as one. Among the true immortals, those who have the most treasures are Tianjiao with a great background, and there are very few Tianjiao who have the most treasures in a Mahayana period like true monarch Shuiyang. After all, the treasure is the treasure used by the emperor. Of course, emperors generally use high-level treasures, or even top-notch treasures. Daojun uses ordinary treasures, and strong ones such as the double-faced clown and Yang Dingtian must have high-level treasures, and even top-notch treasures. Within the Holy Land, there are very few emperors, and they all practice in the Holy Land. Therefore, there is no strong emperor in the ancient domain. But they were never afraid of the invasion of the ancient court emperor. Because in each ancient domain, there are top-level Daojun arranged by the Holy Land. The double-faced Buddha is actually a saint of the Holy Land. He came to Fuhai ancient region to sit here. After all, It is very close to the 36 ancient regions of the ancient court. His strength is extremely powerful, and he can fight against the emperor head-on. After burning divine power, it is even more able to suppress the emperor. Although he did not fuse the two sequences together, he cultivated both sequences to the perfection level. The strength is among the Taoist monarchs, and it is considered a first-class existence. The superclass is the fusion of the two sequences of inheritance, which has reached the edge of the road. However, this kind of existence will not sit in some ancient regions, but choose to practice in holy places. They are the future of the Holy Land, and even the Lord will not force them. After all, there are too few emperors in the Holy Land. As for Daojun Yang Dingtian, who was not born in the Holy Land, although he also cultivated the two sequences to perfection, he did not try to integrate them, because he knew that once the two sequences were merged, there would be no turning back, and the chances of joining the path were quite slim. After all, there is no such perseverance. After all, being an emperor is not about merging the two sequences. It can be broken through without fusion, and it is simpler. You can also take the route of the Yuan Dao, or the divine power route. Take the inheritance of the divine eye as the auxiliary left. In this way, the combat power will be weaker, but the speed of cultivation will be very fast. As long as the talent is sufficient, the emperors who merge the two sequences will not be weak. It's just that talent is destined to be limited. Otherwise, for so many years, no one can surpass the Holy Lord. The cultivation system in the ancient world is ultimately too few and too extreme. Going astray often takes a long time to correct. Just like the current battle of Taoism, neither the ancient court nor the Holy Land has flinched. But some practitioners have begun to back off. Sooner or later there will be a battle of Taoism. Jian Wushuang has seen too much, and he knows the pros and cons of this kind of world that has been opened up for a short period of time. How many of these people will survive by then? Glancing at the crowd, true immortals seem to be eternal, but there are no eternal true immortals in this world, only eternal powerhouses. Otherwise, the starry sky would have been a real fairy for so many years. They have already lived forever, and there are no mortals. But in the history of the starry sky, too many powerhouses have fallen, even the of the starry sky. As a star god, Miexing has fallen on the timeline. There is also the of reincarnation who desires to destroy life. Why is that position vacant? Didn't it fall for some reason? Otherwise, why would he care? Therefore, there is no eternal existence in this world, only the eternal strong. The strong can last forever. In the starry sky, you are strong and you can be eternal. In the ancient world, you are strong, and you can be eternal. Of course, there are also risks from the outside world. The ancient world has been open for a short time, and there has not been much contact with other worlds. And there will still be variables in the future. Let's go and try it. Chapter 6384. Everything now does not belong to those eternal existences. Just let them keep it. After a rebuild, Jian Wushuang also learned a lot. On the way, because he has nothing to do, he has been comprehending the origin Tao. Learn about your ultimate kendo, as well as the extreme way. He has been comprehending these two Taos that he already mastered. I want to find common ground and open up a new way of origin. Time passed day by day. 10 days later, everyone came to the end of the Blood River swim, without any risk. They passed through the territory of the true immortal Gorfiend, and they encountered the true immortal of 7 steps several times on the way, and they all avoided them one by one and passed smoothly. It is now the last tour of the Blood River, and from here, it belongs to the cave dwelling of the ancestors of the Blood River. Moreover, within the cave dwelling occupied by this Blood River patriarch, there are many mortal lives. There are many hundreds of millions, millions of times the number of people in the entire Red Eye realm. They all live on a barren continent on the north shore. On the south bank, there is an azure field. The north shore is very stable, but they dare not walk from the north shore. Because of the stability on the north bank, there are several true immortals, and there are also blood demon guards under the blood of the ancestors. The Gorfine true immortal who had passed through the Gorfine territory before was actually a descendant of the ancestor of the Blood River. But the two were separated by many generations, but the blood relationship was still there. Moreover, this blood demon true immortal is the strongest among the countless descendants of the Blood River ancestor. He is also the most talented. He is deeply loved by the Blood River old ancestor, so he handed over his most powerful blood demon guards to him. Gorfiend is a real fairy. That's how the title of Gorfine true immortal came from. The Gorfine's general is the Gorfine true immortal, but he is not the strongest. There are also 3 lieutenants, all of whom are 8-step true immortals. They can't afford to offend anyone. Naturally dare not pass the Gorfiend to do the real North Shore. Only dare to sneak on the south bank. Halfway through, the old man Tianxun couldn't help but scold it. Damn, our luck is too bad. This south bank is undergoing the blood demon trial. It is estimated that there are strong blood demon guards in the town. We have to be careful. Look at what level of Gorfine trial. True Monarch Shuiyang asked anxiously. He knows this very well. There are 3 levels of Gorfine trials. If it is the weakest trial, it may be over in a few days, but if it is the strongest trial, it will not only take a long time, but also the number of trials will be reduced. A lot. And there will naturally be a lot of Gorfine guards at that time. Maybe 2 of the 3 lieutenants will come. That is the 8-step real fairy. Ziyu was walking at the forefront now, and after a careful survey he replied, I didn't find a strong man from the Gorfiend, but I found a man from the beast sect, and he is very powerful. Who? Wuho Jinjuan asked with a frown. 8-step true immortal Wu Taidu. When Fairy Ziyu replied, there was a hint of excitement in her eyes. Because Wuho Xinjian's clan is a member of the royal beast sect. It's just that Wuho Jinjuan is not suitable for beasts, so he entered Tiantan City since he was a child, and worshipped a powerful real immortal as a teacher, but his connection with the beast sect was not broken. The seniors in the clan of the Wuho Jinjuan that I meet now may be able to accommodate. For a time, everyone turned to look at Wuho Jinxian. It's him. Wuho Zengxian's brows were a little angry, and after seeing the eyes of everyone looking at him, he immediately said, Don't think about it. I have a grudge with Wu Taidu. If he finds me here, I will definitely take the opportunity to get rid of it. The old man Tianxuan said unexpectedly. No, I heard that your clan is very united. Even if you are not from the Beastmaster sect, you will not do anything to you. His doubts are not unreasonable, but Wuho Jinxian obviously doesn't want to be too troublesome, so there is no need to say so. Fairy Ziyu hurriedly interrupted the questioning of the old man Tiancan, and changed the subject. Everyone has seen the previous situation. I guess this trial has not yet started, and now is the opportunity for us to pass through this place. Although there is an 8-step the true immortal is in charge, but it is enough to separate him, and in just one day, we will be able to pass through the South Shore Shura field. Then do according to what Taoist Ziyu said. Although the old man Tiancan was a little dissatisfied, he also knew that he must unite at this time. Wuho Jinxian didn't explain, but hurried on the road. You can tell by looking at the face of the other party. It must be a festival with Wu Taidu of the Imperial Beast sect, and this festival is very big, and it is too big to be adjusted. Otherwise, someone from a clan like this might come forward to adjust it. After all, Wu Taidu is an 8-step true immortal, and he has a very high status in the Imperial Beast sect. Wuho Zengxian's strength is not bad. Level, and young, the future is expected to be 7 steps, or even 9 steps of the existence of true immortals. One of the 2 is the top fighting force in the current clan, and the other is the pillar of the future. Such a character has an uncontrollable hatred. It must not be easy. Wuho Jinxian didn't say anything, and everyone didn't ask much, and now that he was on his way, he didn't think too much. Just as their group carefully crossed the Shura field on the south bank, tens of thousands of flying boats appeared above the north bank. Each flying boat can accommodate 10,000 people. Tens of thousands of flying boats are millions of people. The flying boat has the mark of the Gorfiend, so it is not the flying boat of the Gorfiend. As for the people inside, The auras are very similar, most of them are primordial spirits, and some are monks in the Mahayana period. As many as millions. Such a large number almost wiped out all the powerhouses in the ancient continent on the north bank. The top of the boat. Captain, the 170,000 yuan cultivators in the 7th Ascension Array are all gathered up. The cultivators of the 14th Ascension Array have also been collected. There are a total of 40,000 monks in the Mahayana period, which is a lot more than the number of previous sessions. A red-robed true immortal headed by the head nodded proudly, and said Danimo. Well, wait for the rest to return to the team. Then drive to the Azura field on the south bank, and tell those idiots about the trial by the way. Yes. Several Gorfiends clasped their fists in response. Immediately, stern voices sounded in all the flying boats. The powerhouses from the ancient continent are now one last level away from your ascension to certify. The voice in the flying boat was completely detected by Jian Wushuang, and he couldn't help sneering in his heart. This ancestor of the Blood River is a bit interesting. The Shura field established is also very good, but unfortunately the time is too short, and the income is too low. Jian Wushuang sighed with emotion. This kind of trial is considered a magic way trial. In fact, it was said that when the Qixin Temple wanted to search Dian Immortal, it was no different from the Gorfiend trial. So many Dian Immortals had fallen, and only a few inheritors were screened out in one trial. However, these inheritors have brought a huge improvement to Qixin Temple. So much so that the victory in the final battle against the annihilation of life all depended on the original trial. Of course, as a bystander now, Jian Wushuang felt that this Gorfiend trial was a demonic act. Chapter 6385. When he was in the Qixin Temple, he himself was in the game, and he didn't have that feeling yet. But now looking at those Mahayana monks about to go through the Shura trials, 1 in 100 may not survive. Trials are cruel after all. If the ancestor of the Blood River has a strong inheritance, maybe it can really be done. It's a pity that the other party is only the inheritor of the secret technique of cultivating the divine eye. Even if the monks who harvested the ancient continent from generation to generation were destined to only gather a group of Gorfiends to become their subordinates. However, the monks in the ancient world were different from Jian Wushuang's trial in the Qi Temple, because these people thought they were flying up, but they were actually caged sparrows. The truth has been concealed by the ancestors of the Blood River. If you want to get out of control, unless you become a Taoist. But under the command of the Blood River ancestor, it is almost impossible to become a Taoist. The Blood Demon Guards selected by the trial are only tools of the ancestors of the Blood River, and most of the treasures obtained must be handed over to the ancestors of the Blood River. Otherwise it is a dead end. There is no treasure, no strong inheritance. They want to surpass the ancestors of the Blood River to get rid of it. It is simply whimsical. Therefore, those Gorfiends never thought of resisting at all. There may also have been thoughts of resistance at first, which were later annihilated. Now is not the time to pity these people, because they are also in trouble. The Gorfiend trial is about to begin, and it is the highest level Gorfiend trial. Hundreds of Yuanshan and Mahayana monks are about to be thrown into the Azura field on the south bank. At that time, every monk will be monitored. Even if their breath is isolated, so many monks will definitely be discovered by the naked eye of the other party. To deal with those mortals, a blindfold is enough, but there will be a large number of Gorfiends coming. I'm afraid we will have a hard time. Fairies, you worried? At this time, everyone was very anxious. But there is no good way. At this time, the disciple of the old man Tianxuan twitched his head and asked a very stupid question. Since there is no way to walk on land, why don't we pass over the Blood River? The old man Tianqing glared at his apprentice and shouted, "You idiot! How do you think the name of the Blood River ancestor came from?" The reason why the ancestor of the Blood River is called the old ancestor of the Blood River is because he controls this Blood River, and even a fly on it can't escape his eyes. He may not be discovered by the other party if he crosses the river for a short time. If you fly on the river, you will definitely be noticed. Wu Hozhenxian explained, and then said, I have a way to pass the Shura field on the south bank. Fairy Ziyu and the old man Tiancan's eyes lit up, and they asked, "What can I do?" "Kill it out." Wuhou Zhenxian answered very seriously, but the faces of the old man Tiancan and Fairy Ziyu turned black. "Kill out." This method is even more stupid than the method suggested by the old disciple of Tiancan. With such an important matter as the Gorfine trial, there will definitely be several powerful true immortals in charge. When they were discovered, they could not escape. You may not understand what I mean, not revealing your identity and killing, but disguising yourself as a tester, and killing all the way to the border of the Azura field from here. Do you understand now? Wuhou Zhenxian sneered, feeling that these people were thinking too slow. It may also be because he has been tense and has not relaxed these days, which has caused his brain to not be very bright, especially the old man Tiancan, who first took a deep breath, and then asked, "What happens when we reach the border?" At this time, Fairy Ziyu reacted and said in surprise, "When you reach the border, of course, run straight away." The rest of the people were stunned for a moment, and then they understood. The reason is actually very simple. Gorfine trials, the strongest is the Mahayana consummation. Taking care of these people, there is also the blessing of a large formation. At most, there are some ordinary Gorfine guards guarding the periphery, which is at most the level of a 3-step front. In the core place, several lieutenants, they are all 8-step true immortals. How can they worry about such trivial matters? It is estimated that they are also responsible for observing some testers with relatively good talent. Among the millions of monks, a few more would not be noticed at all. When the time comes to the border, it is very easy to use the treasure to isolate the breath and pass through the large formation to hide from the guards. After understanding it, Tang even adopted this method of Wuhou Zhenjian. Everyone listens to the order and begins to put the testers in the flying boat. Be sure to spread them out and let them be scattered in various areas of the Shura field. Yes, hundreds of blood demon guards are all true immortals. Among them, there are 5-step true immortals and ordinary 3-step true immortals. As for the stronger existence, almost all of them are in the Gorfine temple in the sky. They will not manage these trivial matters, and everything is instructed to their subordinates. At this time, there are 3 true immortals in the hall. 2 of them were lieutenants of the Gorfine hall, and the other was Wu Taidu, who was from the same clan as Wuhou Zhenxian. These 3 are all 8-step true immortals, and their strength is extremely powerful. Brother Taidu, we haven't seen each other for some time, right? The last time we ventured in the vortex domain was 300 years ago. An alien young man with blue scales and curved horns raised his glass and said boldly, "Come on, let's have a drink first." Wu Taidu also smiled and said, "It's really good to see you in the new year." Several people have adventured together, and they can be considered life and death friends. This time, the ancestor of the Blood River cooperated with the Royal Beast sect, so he sent Wu Tai to fight, and it also gave the 3 of them the opportunity to sit down and drink. By the way, I heard that this trial is the highest level trial, and it is hosted by Ji Brother. It seems that this time Ji Brother will receive a lot of subordinates with good qualifications. Wu Taida said with envy, eyes. Although he is a strong man of the Beast Master sect, he was born to master beasts, and now he has a cultivation base of 8-step true immortal, and he has several monsters that are only 7-step true immortals. The number of subordinates is more than that of Gorfiend, but the qualifications are too much worse. The most important point is that he consumes a lot of beasts, and when he opens his eyes, there are millions of monsters to raise. Unlike Gorfiend, who has his own territory and can take it out for adventures, the treasures obtained must be handed over to the strong. Just don't be too cool. The green-scaled powerhouse also smiled when he heard the words, pointed at the young man with a handsome face and said, "Ji, this time the big brother is here. You have to express that it's your luck recently. Don't make fun of me, the 2 of you. Although the powerhouses who have come out of the trial are under my command, they are after all the guards of the ancestors. How dare you fill your own pockets?" Ji Zhenxian is very low-key. Because he was very young, he walked out of the Azura field, and it has only been 1,000 years, and he is already an 8-step true immortal. talented, strong, and deeply loved by the ancestors. Now he is a popular person beside the ancestors, and he is the most hopeful person to become a Taoist. Chapter 6387. After entering the Shura field, they encountered several battles, so they took the opportunity to frantically move towards the border. After arriving at the border, they encountered another scuffle of hundreds of people, and they could just take advantage of the chaos and leave the Azura field. Moreover, the 3 8-step true immortals of the Blood Demon Palace received orders from the Blood River Patriarch at this time, and went to the source of the Blood River one after another, and had no time to care about the testers here. As a result, it was a coincidence that he was targeted by Immortal Ji Yi. Sensing the breath of true Immortal Jia descending, Jian Wushuang sighed, but was still touched. The sudden powerful aura crushed the entire battle group in an instant. Those Mahayana trial practitioners were killed instantly, and none of them survived, leaving only Jian Wushuang and his party standing on the edge. And at this time Fairy Ziyu woke up. Exposed. Wu Ho Zhengxian's heart sank. It's Jia, the 8-step immortal. The old man Tian Can's complexion changed drastically. True immortal of 8 steps. True monarch Blood Yang gasped. The other 2 disciples of the 4-step true immortal. And the old man with a disability turned pale even more. It's over. If nothing else, this time it was a real surprise. Among them, there are those with strong backgrounds, as well as those with strong strength and background. They are not afraid of ordinary 6-step or even 7-step true immortals. But he happened to meet an 8-step true immortal. There is no hope of resistance at all, only to escape. Escape. Everyone has only one thought left, then run away quickly. Escape as far as you can. To resist is to court death. Swish. The first one to set off was the disciple of the old man with a disability. He is only a monk of the Mahayana period, and there are all monks of the Mahayana period nearby, so he can completely mix in. And he is just a small person, no one should care about his existence. Good idea, but it ran too fast. It's not that he reacted quickly, but that he was too shrewd and thought he could run away if he ran earlier. But I never thought about why those Mahayana monks died instantly. True Immortal Ji Yi didn't need to make a move at all to kill Mahayana stage monks. Just the shock of immortal power could instantly strangle Mahayana stage monks. He was not strangled before, entirely because of Fairy Ziyu's protection. Now escaping from the range of the shelter, he was instantly strangled in midair by an invisible and immortal force, not even leaving his body, and directly turned into a blood mist. The old man Tian Can didn't have time to be sad at this moment. He took out the black gourd with his hands, and shouted angrily, "Escape separately." After speaking, he uncorked the bottle directly. Boom. The terrifying black flame instantly covered the range of thousands of miles around. As long as they escape from this range, they all have treasures that can shield their breath. And then they will be able to escape the pursuit of true Immortal Ji Yi. At the critical moment, the old guy's mind was still clear. I didn't escape immediately before. That's because the first one to escape would be the first one to be hunted down. That stupid apprentice of mine has always been by his side and has never been hunted down, so he will understand this truth, and his death now is for nothing. As soon as the black flame came out, it burned into the nearby space instantly. The space was chaotic, and everyone began to flee in all directions. Before Fairy Ziyu fled, she did not forget to pull Sword Wushuang. As for the 2 4-step true immortals, she was really helpless. There was no pressure to bring a Mahayana monk. After all, it would not consume much of her own strength. Follow me closely. As long as we escape thousands of miles away, we will have a chance to survive. Jian Wushuang's heart warmed. He didn't expect Fairy Ziyu to be willing to take him, a Mahayana monk, to flee for his life at this time, and immediately followed. As for the others, he just cast a glance, but for true monarch Blood Yang, his thoughts never moved away. If true monarch Blood Yang can't escape, then this time it will be in vain, so true monarch Blood Yang cannot die. As for the others, he doesn't need to worry about it. Wu Ho Zhengxian's background is not bad. He comes from a big family. When he escaped, there was an extra shield under his feet, and his speed exploded in an instant, surpassing the 7-step true immortal. Even if immortal Ji Yi wants to catch up, it will be very troublesome. The old man Tianqian was not bad at that side either. He did not know what rune he used to make himself enter the shield space and escape directly through the space interlayer. Blood Yongzhenjuan is even more outrageous. He directly activates the treasure in his body and turns it into a blood light. And experienced people can tell at a glance that it is a blood shield. And the speed is the fastest among them. But no matter how they escaped, they were all awaiting trial. As long as true immortal Jie seriously pursues someone, the chased person will almost certainly die. They all have treasures beside them. It seems that the picture is not small. Zhenxian Jie revealed a strange smile. He didn't chase anyone, but just looked at the fleeing people coldly. After a little exploration, they recognized the identities of everyone. After all, almost all the strong men in Temple of Heaven City have names. Ziyu Tianqian Marqiwu? He recognized the identities of the 3 most powerful true immortals. After discovering Wu Hozhenxian, he frowned. Just now he was drinking with Tai Wu Wu. And in a blink of an eye, he met the other party's clansmen. For the sake of the other party, he would save half of the life of Wu Hozhenxian. But he still had to be punished for trespassing on the Azura realm in the Blood River region. Mahayana period? Wu Hozhenxian was not the one who surprised him the most, but the one who surprised him the most was Xueyang Zhenjuan. Because Zhenjuan Xueyang is relatively low-key, few people know his appearance, but his treasures are not low-key. A Mahayana monk, his escape speed has reached the level of an 8-step true immortal. Ji Yi was overjoyed in his heart, and secretly said, "I'm afraid this kid is carrying a treasure. I'm really lucky. My ancestor just rewarded me with a treasure. And then I met another Mahayana cultivator who was carrying a treasure, but a Mahayana cultivator to be able to use it so well even if you have a precious treasure in your body. I am afraid the background is not simple. Of course he won't keep his hand, even if he kills him, it's nothing. This is the double-faced divine mansion. And above him is Patriarch Xuehe, one of the top 10 true immortals under the double-faced Buddha. If something happened, the ancestor couldn't stand it, and the double-faced Buddha would be there for him. This is the double-faced divine palace. No matter how powerful his background is, if he is killed, he will be killed. Leave them all." Ji Yi gave a low drink. The source of the polar night. The surrounding world suddenly darkened. The originally daytime sky instantly dimmed. This is not pure blackness, but even the power of thought has begun to decline. Jia not only covers his eyes, but also his thoughts. The people who fled instantly became blind. I can't even figure out the direction. And true immortal Ji Yi also made a move at this time. First of all, the 2 4-step true immortals who escaped the slowest. 2 trash fish. There's no need to keep them alive. The murderous aura rose from the eyes of true immortal Ji Yi, and the darkness instantly enveloped the 2 4-step true immortals. Just one breath allowed the 2 4-step true immortals to blend into the night, and the breath of life disappeared completely in the next moment, leaving only 2 mustard seeds. Chapter 6388. It was easily taken into the hands of immortal Jia. Next is Fairy Purple Feather. At this time, Fairy Ziyu, who was crazily running away with Jian Wushuang, also panicked. Under the source of Ji Yi, it was dark all around, and she couldn't see anything with naked eyes, and couldn't feel anything with her thoughts. No wonder true immortal Ji Yi didn't panic, and watched us escape, and actually had this kind of method. Fairy Ziyu didn't lose her footing even though she panicked. At the critical moment, she directly crushed a green vial, and a green aura emanated from it, which instantly washed her eyes. The darkness in front of him gradually receded. Feeling the powerful aura chasing after her, she immediately took out a talisman. Certainly, in the origin of the extreme night, time suddenly stopped. Only Fairy Ziyu and Jian Wushuang can move. Walk. Fairy Ziyu grabbed Jian Wushuang, and a talisman appeared in her hand again. Thousands of miles teleportation. Swish. The figures of the 2 flashed, and when they reappeared, they had already left the Shura field, and they were already thousands of miles away. However, the 2 still haven't walked out of the source of the extreme night, But when they are thousands of miles away, they use the purple furnace to isolate the breath again, and the breath of the two of them disappears instantly. But Fairy Ziyu didn't dare to relax, and only dared to stop after flying tens of thousands of miles at low altitude with Jian Wushuang. A crack was found on the shore, and the two hid in it. As soon as the two entered the crack, they felt a huge movement erupting from 100,000 miles away. Fighting. Fairy Ziyu sighed. I don't know if fellow Taoist blood yang can escape smoothly. Jian Wushuang kept staring at Jinju and Xueyang with his mind power. He knew best whether the other party had any hope of escaping. After he and Fairy Ziyu escaped, true immortal Ji Yi was greatly shocked. Fairy Ziyu was only a 4-step true immortal, but she actually had a talisman of freezing space. And it is still fixed in his original field. That talisman was at least forged by a top Taoist expert. Thinking of the other party's background, Immortal Jia understood that it must be the talisman made by Grandma Yinhua. Otherwise, Fairy Ziyu would not be able to afford such an expensive sigil. Seeing the two escaped, he didn't dare to be careless, and immediately chased after True Monarch Xueyang. Although True Monarch Zuyang's speed is very fast and has reached the level of the 8-step True Immortal, but Jia Zhenxian is a 8-step True Immortal, and he is also the top powerhouse among the 8-step True Immortals. He quickly caught up with True Monarch Xueyang, and thought he would easily take down a Mahayana monk. What he didn't expect was that just after catching up with the Mahayana cultivator, the other party took out a terrifying Dao talisman. That's not a talisman, it's a Dao talisman. The interior condenses a series of attacks of the mighty power of the Emperor. True Monarch Xueyang was also ruthless without any hesitation, directly crushing the Dao talisman, and a violent force directly swept through Ji Yi Yuan Yuan. It just instantly strangled an 8-step True Immortal. The powerful power impacted all around. Both Jinxian Wuhou and Tianqin Old Man were affected, but fortunately the distance was relatively far, and the attack was only aimed at Jinxian Jia, so they were not injured. As for Taoist Xueyang himself, he is protected by a golden light, and the power of the Taoist talisman will not cause any harm to him. True Immortal Jia was killed with one blow, but True Monarch Xueyang couldn't be happier. After passing the message to the old man Tianqin and Wuhou Zhenxian, the three of them left the Azura field together. Jian Wushuang and Fairy Ziyu were still waiting in the cracks in the mountains hundreds of thousands of miles away. Knowing that they were all right, Jian Wushuang was thinking about how to remind Fairy Ziyu to go out and meet the three of them. Unexpectedly, Fairy Ziyu already knew about it. They escaped, let's go find them first. Fairy Ziyu finished, and led him away from the hidden crack. Jian Wushuang's heart moved, and he discovered a strange power of thought. It should be that several people have the same token of thought power, which can be transmitted through sound transmission. The core of the double-faced shrine, double-faced mountain. In the grand hall above the cloud top, there are nebula and gray original breath all over here. In the center, there is a person sitting cross-legged. No matter which direction you look from, you can see the opponent's face. He is the double-faced Buddha. One side is happy, one side is sad. Yang Dingshan's breath? The double-faced Buddha sitting cross-legged suddenly opened his eyes, with a smile on his mouth. This is his happy face. How could his breath appear in my territory? Is this guy going to betray the Holy Land? He stood up suddenly, and his thought power reached the Blood River region in an instant. The breath disappeared. However, in the remaining breath, he could sense that it was not Yang Dingtian who made the move himself, but the power of the Dao talisman. So he calmed down. With a thought, a fat man with a plump body walked in from outside the hall. My lord, the obese man said in a respectful tone. The double-faced Buddha sat down cross-legged again, raised his eyelids and ordered, go to the Blood River region to see what happened there. Yes, the obese man was a little curious in his heart, but he quickly agreed and walked out of the hall. On the other side, in the Blood River Palace, feeling the strong aura, the Patriarch Shueha got up immediately, and just walked out of the Shueha Palace. He ran into Qing Lin and Wu Taidu, who rushed over. After the aura spread, the two people reacted. Come here. Something happened in the extreme night. Old ancestor. Qing Lin immediately explained. Earlier, Ji said that he found a few outsiders, but their strength was not very good, so he wanted to solve it alone, but he didn't expect it. Patriarch Shueha frowned and said coldly, "Stop talking, go and see what's going on." Originally they were called here to discuss the cooperation with the beast sect this time, but they did not expect such a thing to happen on his territory at this time. His breath enveloped the two of them, and with a flash of his figure, he arrived at the Shura field in an instant. At this time, more than half of the Shura field was destroyed. 99% of those Mahayana monks died. Now there are only a few thousand people left, and among them there are many monks in the Yuanshan stage who are lucky. Looking at the shattered half of the sky, Patriarch Shueha couldn't help but gasp. Even if he was hit by that blow, he would probably be seriously injured. What a powerful aura! Wu Taida felt rejoicing in his heart at this moment. Fortunately he left, otherwise he might also perish. At the same time, I was also surprised who made such a big noise. Patriarch Shueha pinched a wisp of breath that hadn't disappeared, and after careful investigation with Nianli he affirmed, "It really is the power of the Dao Talisman. It seems that the identity of the person who made the shot is not simple." "Old ancestor, the person you said was using a Dao Talisman?" Qinglin was surprised. Patriarch Shueha gave him a blank look, but did not answer. If it wasn't for the power of the Dao Talisman, would he have come? Does he dare to come? If it wasn't a Taoist talisman, but a top existence among Taoist monarchs, how could he dare to come out to investigate? Even if it was the Dao Talisman he used, he only came forward cautiously. If the man didn't go far, if he came too, it would be uncomfortable. Chapter 6389. Okay, the two of you will go back to the Shueha palace first, and you must not leave without my order. The ancestor of the Shueha suddenly ordered the two to go to the Shueha palace to stay. Wu Taidu and Qinglin immediately bowed their heads and left the place. Not long after they left, a powerful breath suddenly descended. Which obese man from the double-sided mountain? After he came, he saw the ancestor of the Blood River waiting for him. When Shueha old ancestor saw the person coming, his expression changed. He didn't expect this person to come in person, and immediately said respectfully, "Fantastic Wind Protector. Shueha, what the happened here that actually alarmed the palace master?" The fat man asked directly without any nonsense. He is a Dharma protector. He has already reached the level of Daojun, and he is also the strongest among Daijins. Naturally, he will not take Shueha old ancestor in his eyes, and he will question him at first. This is also because the other party is one of the 10 true immortals of the double-sided divine palace, and his status is somewhat special. Otherwise, it would not be as simple as asking questions. Ancestor Shueha frowned, but he didn't dare to get angry, and said in a slightly respectful tone, "I just came here too. Someone used the Dao Talisman here before, and then disappeared." "Humph," Chiefing Protector snorted coldly and said angrily, "You are sitting in the Blood River, and a strange powerhouse appears on your own territory, but you say you don't know? You don't even know who the other party is, and you let the other party run away. Now you are dereliction of duty, do you know that?" Shueha secretly scolded the other party to make things difficult. There is no way to not be a faction with each other. He has an average relationship with the 4 protectors, but the 10 true immortals are very close together, and the 4 protectors usually don't dare to make things difficult for them. Now that he is alone, I want to scare him. If it weren't for the fact that he had something to do now, he would have greeted his brothers long ago. Among the 10 true immortals, there are also strong people who can overwhelm Daojun. Therefore I am not afraid of the 4 Dharma protectors. I will give the palace master an explanation for this matter. Shuehi resisted the anger in his heart, and replied stiffly. Chiefing Hufa squinted at Shueha, and was a little surprised in his heart. He knew that Shueha was the best at pulling the flag. This time, he didn't even call his elder brothers to come out to support the scene, which was a bit strange. Originally, he wanted to take the opportunity to humiliate this river of blood, but he wanted to know what the other party was enduring. One explanation is not enough. This time, the palace master has been alerted, I need to investigate here for a while. As for you, this time you are negligent. I will punish you to go to Centipede Mountain to kill 3 centipede kings, and then hand over the body to me. Chiefing Protector's tone eased. Actually, the punishment is nothing. The Centipede King is only at the 9-step true immortal level, but his combat power is very weak. With the strength of the Blood River ancestor, killing 3 centipede kings is not life-threatening at all. But it will take some time, and the Blood Demon Guard will be mobilized to assist. But now that he has something important to do, he doesn't want to go to Centipede Mountain to kill the Centipede King. The punishments are all determined by the Guardians of the Wind, so they can be changed. Ancestor Shueha took a deep breath, took out a mustard seed, and said with a smile, "Thank you, Lord Dharma Protector, for your forgiveness. This time, it was indeed Shueha that I didn't fulfill my duties. Not only did I alarm the palace master, but I also let Lord Dharma Protector run away in person. One trip, there are some gadgets in this mustard seed, which can be regarded as an apology gift to the Dharma Protector. Shueha, I found that you are becoming more and more polite recently." The Chiefing Protector took the mustard seed, and his eyes widened after the thought force investigation. There are actually 2 peak fairy artifacts inside, which are already comparable to a top-grade fairy artifact. This value is not small for Jubuzhinshian, and if you take it out, you can sell millions of immortal crystals. Although Daojun already has a treasure, and does not need immortal tools, who would despise his own treasures? After the Protector of Chiefing accepted it with a smile, he said with a light smile, "For the sake of your good attitude of admitting your mistake, this time the punishment will be waived. But you have to remember that the Blood River region is not yours. It is a double-sided one. The Divine Palace's site, the double-faced Divine Palace, is the Palace Lord's residence. You and I are just servants of the palace. You must distinguish the priority from the second, and don't mess up the Palace Lord's home because of your own cultivation." Yes, the Dharma Protector is right. Ancestor Shueha nodded quickly in agreement. He didn't know that his abnormality had already made Chiefing Protector suspicious. "Okay, it's none of your business here. I'll go back to the palace master after I investigate." Qifeng deliberately pretended not to care. This made Shueha old ancestor happy in the bottom of his heart. At the moment, as long as the Chiefing Protector is sent away, he can go about his own business. It's hard work protecting the law. After the Blood River ancestor complimented him again, he left the Shura field. The strange wind protection law left behind was squinting at the figure of the other party leaving, and a sneer hung on the corner of his mouth. After exploring the surroundings first, he found that an 8-step true immortal had also fallen here, but with a little understanding, he found out that it was the Jia true immortal who had fallen. 8-step true immortals are not many in the double-sided Divine Palace. Moreover, Ji Zhengxian's strength is good, and his talent is also good. He was jealous of Blood River ancestors' acceptance of a good subordinate before. The ancestors of the Blood River often bring the true immortals of the night when they go to the double-sided sacred mountain, which is obviously cultivated as a confidant. As a result, he has now fallen, and the ancestor of the Blood River has not mentioned it, and he still looks absent-minded, which makes him even more puzzled. TSK, I want to see what you are doing." Chiefing Protector sneered in his heart, then turned around and turned into a streamer and left the Blood River region. But leaving is an illusion, and lurking is real. It's just that the ancestor of the Blood River is too careless. Thinking that the Chiefing Protector was really gone, after returning to the Blood River Palace, he started his own plan. The ancestor of the Blood River sat on the main seat of the main hall, and ordered, "Notify the Blood Demon, let him come to the Blood River Hall to sit in the seat. The 2 of you will go to Yenhaishan with me." Now, Qinglin was a little surprised. "Ji has just fallen. Don't you want to investigate this matter?" Ancestor Shueha was too lazy to explain, and shouted angrily, "Do I have to explain to you what I do? My subordinates dare not." Qinglin quickly bowed to answer the order. On the other side, Jian Wushuang and their destination were also Yenhaishan. At this time they fled all the way, and Yenhaishan also came close. Several people were silent all the way. After arriving, it was Fairy Ziyu who said, "Fellow Taoist Xiuyang, where is the special passage you said?" She wisely did not ask about the previous battle, but went straight to the point. "I'll lead the way later." True monarch Xiuyang never said the exact location, because he was worried that someone would be exposed. After hearing his words, everyone had no opinion, and followed Daojun Xiuyang into Yunhai Mountain. They didn't know yet that a group of 3 people came to Yunhai Mountain behind them. It is the Blood River ancestor and others. Qinglin and Wu Taidu followed behind, and in their hearts, they wondered why the ancestors came to Yunhaishan. Chapter 6390. This place is quite special. The one who sits here is the protector of the Sea of Clouds, is a powerful Taoist. Entering this place hastily, he also hid his breath, obviously not wanting to say hello to the other party. "Follow me," Blood River Patriarch said in a voice transmission. Immediately, the 2 of them entered the thick cloud layer. Not long after flying, they arrived at the Sea of Clouds behind Yunhai Mountain. Beneath the Sea of Clouds is the real ocean. Swish! The 3 of them descended, and ripples instantly swayed across the sea. "This time I brought the divine beast. If I still can't open it, I can only go through that passage." The ancestor of the Blood River took a deep breath, and dived into the sea with the 2 of them. Diving into the deep sea, after descending 10,000 feet, it reached the bottom of the sea. It is not only quiet and dark, and there is no life around. After walking hundreds of thousands of miles under the sea, the ancestor of the Blood River stopped, turned his head and said to Wu Taidu, "Let the ink jiao out." Yes, Wu Taidu did not hesitate, and immediately released Mo Jiao. Because the sect master has explained, everything listens to the ancestors of the Blood River. Seeing Mo Jiao, Xiweha old ancestor's tense face revealed a hint of joy. At this time, the tone of the 2 also eased a lot, saying, "You 2 are waiting here, don't walk around and don't leak your breath." Understood. Qinglin was very obedient this time. Wu Taidu also nodded honestly. Ancestor Xiweha glanced at the 2 of them, and left with satisfaction. Said to leave, in fact, is to enter a nearby submarine canyon. After diving tens of thousands of feet again, the pressure on the bottom of the sea had reached the point where the monks in the Mahayana period had been crushed, and the ancestor of the Blood River stopped. He began to on the cracked stone wall. Every moment, he found a rock that could be moved. After turning it gently, a stone gate appeared on the stone wall. Click. The stone gate opens automatically. A channel leaked. After Xiweha old ancestor glanced around, he walked in with Mo Jiao. He didn't know that, before he entered, a mysterious figure had already walked in front of him. The ancestor of the Blood River did not notice it at all. It must be known that the strength of the ancestor of the Blood River has reached the limit of the 9-step true immortal. There will be no more than 3 people in the entire sea-covered ancient region. Call. Inside the channel, the seawater is isolated, and the surrounding area is covered with moss that grows from seawater, making it seem that the entire channel is green. The ancestor of the Blood River walked forward cautiously, and a huge beast head appeared in front of him after a while. The head of the beast has fangs and huge eyes, which looks ferocious and terrifying. After walking to the front, the ancestor of the Blood River swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and said to the Mo Jiao beside him, "A drop of blood essence is dripped on it." Ow! Mo Jiao heard some resistance, but the imprint of life was shining, and he couldn't resist, so he could only drip blood on it honestly. After the dark green blood dripped on the beast's head, it immediately emitted a golden light. Ancestor Blood River quickly took out another small bottle, uncorked the bottle, and dripped a few drops of golden blood on the head of the beast. The bottom of the sea suddenly shook. This sound startled the ancestor of Xiweha. The animal head in front of him seemed to respond with anger. It just radiated golden light, and then there was no movement. "Hey, I still failed." Blood River old ancestor was a little unwilling. In order to open this door, he also got a lot of ancient demon blood, and even in order to be like the ancient demon, he also promised to give a favor to the sect master of the Imperial Beast sect, and borrowed the divine beast. The result still failed. It seems that there is only one way to go. He shook his head and left the passage with Mo Jiao. But I don't know the sound just now, and a figure has already been staring at it. Just after he walked out of the passage, he was blocked by a fat, strong man. Brother Shueha, why don't you think about your brother if it's good? The corner of Chiefing Protector's mouth rose, revealing a wicked smile. Blood River Ancestor was quite surprised, and at the same time blamed himself for being too careless. At the same time, in the depths of the seabed, there is a group of people walking towards this side. Fellow Taoist Xueyang, how far is it? Come on, don't worry at this time. True Monarch Xueyang was also very excited at this time, and finally arrived safely. He was a little overwhelmed with excitement at the moment. Originally, I wanted to go to the main entrance to have a look, but I lost my patience, so I went directly to the special passage. Whoa! After walking through the rushing seabed vortex, everyone came to an underwater Grand Canyon. After descending again, after entering the canyon, True Monarch Blood Yang took them straight to a crack in the canyon. After walking through the narrow crack, I entered a flat bottom with a bare back. This is actually a part of the mountain range, which means that they are still considered a valley in the valley. It's here! True Monarch Xueyang said excitedly. He stepped forward quickly and found the passage marked on the jade pendant. It's just that the passage was blocked by some gravel, and after moving away with thought power, a dark passage appeared in front of everyone's eyes. But before they could enter, they were startled by a voice and broke out in a cold sweat. Haha, Brother Shueha. It seems that you are not the only one who knows about this place. The rough voice came, and everyone was surprised. Ziyu Fairy's eyes narrowed suddenly, as if she saw a demon. Fantastic Wind Protector, Blood River Patriarch, Azure Scale True Immortal, Wu Tai Do. 4 figures came, and the weakest was the 8-step True Immortal. The old man's eyes darkened and he almost fell down. Done. This time it's over. The same is true for True Monarch Xueyang. Although he still has trump cards, he is facing Tao Monarch. And he is still the strongest among the Taoists. The strength of the strange Wind Protector, he heard from his elder brother, is the existence that can be ranked in the top 50 of the ancient sea-covering region. His whole card in the eyes of the opponent is probably a gadget, not fatal at all. What should I do? What should I do now? True Monarch Xueyang roared in his heart. At this moment, another powerful breath came, and at the same time, there was a majestic voice saying, Chiefing, this is my sight. You brought the sea of blood to my sight, and you didn't even say hello to me. And have you put this seed in your eyes? The next moment, a figure covered in blue flames fell among the crowd. Seeing this figure, the old man Tiankin almost fainted. Brother Morong, don't be so angry. The Blood Sea ancestor looked at the blue figure in front of him meaningfully. Hearing the word Morong, everyone understood. Morong Yinhai, one of the 4 protectors. The outside world also called him Cloud Sea Protector. The strength is extremely tyrannical, and he is the first among the 4 guardians. Even the Chiefing Protector is not this person's opponent. His arrival instantly attracted everyone's attention, otherwise he would have attacked them just now. Shueha, I know this matter has something to do with you, tell me. Yinhai Protector ignored Chiefing Protector and looked directly at the ancestor of Shueha. Chapter 6391. At this time, the ancestor of Shueha was in a dilemma, but he also understood that no one could afford to offend. Moreover, the matter of the ancient demon palace can no longer be concealed. Had to drag it all out. Fairy Ziyu and everyone understood why they were discovered. It turned out that the ancestor of the Blood River also got the token of the ancient demon palace. True Monarch Xueyang couldn't believe it and exclaimed, This is impossible. The ancient demon token is a jade pendant that the ancient demon carried with him. How could there be 2 pieces? His words made the 2 guardians and the ancestors of the Blood River look over. Who am I? It turns out to be Yang Dingshan's younger brother. Yinhai Protector smiled lightly. Boy, I bet you didn't tell Yang Dingtian about the ancient demon token. If he knew, he would definitely tell you. there are a lot of ancient demon tokens. Those craftsmen who built the ancient demon palace at the beginning have one hand. Ah! Xiuyang exclaimed, and one fell to the ground without standing still. This time he was conceited, carrying his own elder brother behind his back. He wanted to prove himself, but ended up shooting himself in the foot. Xiuyang sneered. What an idiot! How could Yang Dingtian have such a younger brother? I heard that they are still the same father and mother. The gap is really big. Chiefing Protector said with a smile. This time, if you don't say that you can't enter the ancient demon palace, even if you don't go in, capturing Yang Dingtian's younger brother will be considered a great achievement. You must know that double-sided Xinfu and Yang Dingtian have always been enemies. Now that he has captured the opponent's own younger brother, he will definitely be able to make Yang Dingtian cast his arms against the rat. True monarch Xiuyang fell to the ground, looking very embarrassed. Compared to his big brother, he was like a clown at this time. Never let them catch. True monarch Xiuyang roared in his heart. But those trump cards on his body are not bad for the opponent's 9-step true immortal, and it seems tasteless to deal with Daojun. And it is the 2 Daojun. Even if it can affect the other party for a moment, he can catch him in the next moment. Once captured alive, he will become a joke in the entire sea-covered ancient region. He never liked to cause trouble to his eldest brother, and he never pressed others because of his identity as his eldest brother when he was away from home. True monarch Blood Yang is extremely conceited and has a strong sense of self-esteem. At this moment, he has already made the worst plan. Blow up. Don't let the other party catch him alive when he dies, so at least he won't cause trouble to his big brother. Stop teasing this stinky boy, kill the rest first. Protector Yunhai said with a low eyebrow. Ancestor Xiuyang did not hesitate, and immediately stepped forward, ready to take action. The old man Tiancan, who was too frightened to move, suddenly rushed out and shouted loudly, My lords, surround me with my life. I have a great opportunity to dedicate it to all of you. The old man Tianxuan was most afraid of death, and now he was trembling with fright, and his face was pale. Being so afraid of death, it is naturally impossible to wait for death, and he will choose all means to keep himself alive. Old man, do you think him a 3-year-old child? Xiuyang old ancestor sneered, and there was no hesitation in his action. A column of blood shot out instantly, killing the old man Tian, who was the first to speak. Protector Yunhai seemed to see a familiar aura from the old man Tiancan, and his brows moved. And the next moment, an explosion sounded suddenly. The old man Tiancan was so frightened that he fell to his knees and covered his face with his hands, while roaring, No! I still have a secret. I know the hiding place of a strong man from another world. Boom! After a moment, the old man gasped for breath and opened his eyes, only to find that he was not dead, and there was a figure standing in front of him. It is the protector of the Sea of Clouds. At this moment, he was holding the blood column with one hand, and suddenly exerted force to directly crush the blood column, and the terrifying force directly shook the blood river ancestors back. The terrifying power of immortality made Xiuyang old ancestor resonate in his chest, and a stream of blood almost spit out from his mouth, but he finally endured it. He stared at the old man Tianxuan angrily, and said in a dissatisfied tone, Protection of Yunhai, you are this what? Is it possible to believe in a 5-step true immortal who is afraid of death? Yunhai, you're a little too much. Xiuyang kindly cleans up the garbage. Why are you still going forward to protect the garbage? Could it be that the old man is your illegitimate child? Chiefing Protector laughed strangely. After crushing the blood column, the guardian of the Sea of Clouds ignored the complaints of the two, slowly turned his head to look at the old man Tiancan, and smashed the old man's arm directly with one hand and a claw. A ring on a finger floated in the air, and the Cloud Sea Protector directly took it into his hand. After checking with his mind power, a smile leaked from the corner of his mouth. Just rely on this, you can survive. Yunhai Protector threw the ring to the old man Tiancan again. The old man Tianxuan, who had been frightened to the point of death, was like a new life. After heaving a sigh of relief, he quickly knelt down and thanked him. At this moment, Chiefing Protector and Blood River Patriarch, are very curious. What did the Yinhai Protector find? Not just them. Fairies Yu and Jinxian Wuho are the same. Both of them feel that they will be planted today, but did not expect the old man Tianxuan to have a chance to survive. Originally, everyone died together, and their hearts were still balanced, but now Tianqin has survived, making the faces of both of them embarrassed. If there is a comparison, there will be a difference. At the same time, Tianqin survived, and their desire to survive also made them reluctant to beg for mercy. It's just that the three powerhouses of the double-faced divine palace simply ignore the two of them. Although Wuho Zhenxian is old-fashioned, in the face of the crisis of death, he has to bow his head and whisper, "Brother Tianqin, can you help me with a good word? As long as I can survive, I am willing to dedicate all my treasures to Tianqin brother." The old man Tianxuan, who had just recovered at this moment, smiled and ignored Wuho Zhenxian's voice transmission. Instead, he turned his head and glanced at Ziyu Fairy. Seeing that the other party did not have voice transmission, he was a little surprised, but he did not take the initiative to speak. True monarch Xueyang was first surprised by the chance that the old man Tianxuan had in his arms, and then there was a hint of temptation, which was the desire to survive, but when he thought of his begging for mercy being published, even if he survived, he would probably lose his face, and his heart was ruthless at this moment. Stand up. The most transparent in the audience is Jian Wushuang. He didn't say a word, and he didn't have any fear. He stood alone in the corner from beginning to end, and his eyes were a little dim. The rest thought he was frightened. Whoa. Blood River Ancestor and Chiefing Protector fell to the ground one after another, walked to Yunhai Protector, and asked curiously, "Cloud Sea Protector, what did you find? If you don't say it and want to take it alone, I will kill this person." Chiefing Protector is as shameless as ever. If it can make Yunhai Protector's heart move, it can also make him heartbeat. This is a big chance. Moreover, he also heard the otherworldly powerhouse mentioned by the old man Tianqin, which is even more involved. You must know that only true immortals can travel through the chaotic airflow, and those who can travel across borders are the top beings among true immortals, most of which are Dao monarchs, or even emperors. Chapter 6392. Today, there are only a few thousand rank 9 Dian immortals, and 1,000 2-star devouring demon sovereigns, and they can still bear it. But with millions of 2-star devouring demon sovereigns, how much can other powerhouses share for them? When the million devoured the devil, he lost half of the rank 9 Dian immortal, and this time he would probably be wiped out. It's a pity. Jian Wushuang sighed in a low voice, and when the horn sounded again, his figure moved into the air outside the city in an instant. In the third wave, the devouring demon lord of 10 million stars was a 100,000-point treasure. Now the sixth wave is 1,000,000 treasure points. Although it can't be swallowed alone, half of it can still be won. Now that he has accumulated almost 100,000 again, if he can get half of it this time, counting the bonus from the coach, he can almost be exchanged for candle dragon wings. This treasure is of great help to him. Not to mention the increase in speed and defense, the increase in the field of beast gods alone can make him even stronger. I am afraid that he will really have the combat power of a half-step emperor by then. The increase in the divine body, coupled with the strong defensive power of the candle dragon's wings, really wants to fight the tens of thousands of stars, and he is sure to fight. At that time, this primitive star, he can really walk sideways. At this moment, Jian Wushuang even had an evil idea, swallowing all the Dian immortals of this primordial star, and he could take another step. This idea just leaked out of his mind, and he quickly rejected it. Let's not talk about the feasibility of this method. Let's talk about the trial of primordial star now. It is estimated that it will be difficult to fight around like the first stage. Now that the Qixin Temple has opened the treasure house and invested so many treasures, how can they still be like what they used to be? Not to let him mess around. Jian Wushuang has always believed that there are some strong people who survived from ancient times in this temple of Qi. Otherwise the inner world would not be running in such an orderly manner. There are too many hidden secrets, and they will only know the real Qixin temple when the primordial star is out. The horns hummed and echoed in the ears of really everyone. The sixth wave of devouring demon lord. This is a hurdle, the hurdle of rank 9 great evolution immortals, and the threshold of some top great evolution immortals. Because after passing this hurdle, the days of the top Dian immortal will not be too good, and even the next few waves of the peak Dian immortal are difficult to survive. At the beginning of the 7th wave, it was the 3-star devouring demon lord, the devouring demon lord with top-level Dian immortal combat power. It is also 100,000 at the beginning, until the next 10 million. What kind of concept is the tens of millions of top-level Dian immortals, and the powerful Daojun may fall? But that time was also the craziest time to earn treasure points. Dozens of treasures. What imitation eternal treasure is not exchanged casually? Those cherished treasures can be exchanged. Can exchange half of the treasure in the treasure house. The immortality of the physical body, the increase of the divine body, and the enlightenment of the source are too many treasures, and it is possible to ascend to the sky in one step. How tempting is this? How can it not make people crazy? Tens of thousands of devouring demon lords, all towering in 10,000 battles, overwhelming the sky, covering the sky and the sun. The evil atmosphere disturbed the atmosphere of everyone. Jian Wushuang stands in the void, and people are like sword shadows, standing in this world. Looking back, the 100,000 cultivators, no matter how weak or strong, all had very solemn expressions on their faces. Although they were tens of thousands, the luster in their eyes made Jian Wushuang understand what it means to have no regrets. To fight, to die without regrets. Kill. Someone whispered, and everyone slowly followed. In the end, everyone roared out, kill. The killing intent soaring to the sky is no weaker than the 10,000 devouring demon sovereign. Lian Jian Wushuang followed and shouted, and at this moment the killing intent infected everyone. Boom, 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 boom. Jian Wushuang rode as 1,000, and pulled out the divine sword behind him, smashing 10,000 enemies with one sword, and rushing into the tens of thousands of devouring demons first. In addition to him and Tier Heaven, and those half-step Daojun, extreme Dian immortal, also rushed into the army of devouring demons. The 100,000 great evolution immortals lined up, and slammed into the devouring demon army head-on in the form of a large formation. Life and death had already been put aside, and now there is only madness in their eyes. Chi-Chi. At the moment when the two sides fought, countless devouring demon sovereigns lost their lives, turning into pitch-black mist and drifting between the heavens and the earth. In the early stage, everyone mustered up their courage, and when they really collided, they did not lose much, but in the face of the constant stream of devouring demon lords, they gradually couldn't stand it. This is a 2-star devouring demon lord that is comparable to a 9-turn perfection, but it is much stronger than a 1-star devouring demon lord. The Great Evolution Immortals line soon began to collapse. The first thing that could not stand was the 6,009 rank Great Evolution Immortal. Although it formed a battle formation, it was a pity that the crazy operation of Yanli was too much to bear. In the end, the big formation collapsed, and the tens of thousands of 2-star devouring demon lord rushed into the big formation. 6,009 turn Dian immortal, facing the tens of thousands of 2 stars devouring demon sovereign, just a face-to-face, blood claws slashed, and most of them fell in an instant. Many Dian immortals with weaker divine bodies and fleshly bodies were directly torn apart by a claw, and their corpses split apart. Devouring demon sovereign even more unscrupulously grabbed those broken corpses and bit them. You guys it. A golden armored expert also blocked a gap with his claws in a flash. However, unlike those devouring demon sovereigns, his sharp claws turned into golden dragons. With a majestic atmosphere, one person could beat 10,000 demons, and the tens of thousands of 2-star devouring demon sovereigns he could kill with his own power were defeated. It's a pity that it was a little too late. Just took a few breaths, and this group of devouring demon sovereigns slaughtered the 9-ranked Dian immortals cleanly, and no one survived. Destroy me. Not letting go of the corpse capital. This is the reverse scale that touched Dian Xian. In just a short while, The tens of thousands of devouring demon sovereigns were torn into thousands by the golden armor. And he was badly injured. Mo Long's golden armor had black blood all over his body. His hair was already messy, and his face was covered in blood. Although he looked down on the weak de Yanxian, he felt that these people were using their arms as chariots. But when those devouring demon lords tore apart the same kind and devoured them, he couldn't help rushing over. In the first 2 waves, he also killed a lot of devouring demon lords. In addition to the bonus of the general position, he gained a lot of treasure points. After exchanging a set of innate treasures, he can be regarded as returning to the peak. The foundation of he is no weaker than those half-step Taoist monarchs. You guys, why bother? Looking at the mutilated corpses on the ground, there was pity in Mo Long's eyes. It's just that countless battles are taking place on this battlefield. The top-level Dian Immortal is also falling, and the peak Dianxian is even more physically damaged. The divine body collapses, and the source is almost extinguished. Those who can really compete in the battlefield are those extreme Dian Immortals and half-step Daijins. And Jian Wushuang and Ter Heaven Daojun are like 2 suns, shining in the deepest part of the tens of thousands of devouring devils. These 2-star devouring demon sovereigns can't hurt Jian Wushuang at all. Even if millions of devouring demon sovereigns are besieging him, they are still as calm as ever. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website. Chapter 6394. At the beginning, everyone was pretty much the same. But after meeting the palace master, each of the 4 major protectors has a set of high-level treasures. And even a 9-step true immortal like me has a high-level treasure. The ancestor of Xue sighed. It's not flattering, it's the way it is. Relying on a super strong person, you will get more treasures. Of course you have to be strong enough. But for a person like true monarch Xueyang, his elder brother is a super strong man. It doesn't matter if he is strong or not. Even if he is just waiting to die, he can be piled up to the immortal level. Why don't I have a big brother like Yang Dingtian? This is what everyone thinks. Such a powerful treasure can be obtained without paying. Their treasure was bestowed by the double-faced Buddha. But it was only obtained from the double-faced Buddha through countless desperate efforts. That's why many people envy them. This is the gap. This kid's physical level may have reached 5,000 times. He is really abnormal. If his original way and the secret method of divine eyes are stronger, and he becomes an immortal in the future, he may soon be able to surpass us. Patriarch Xuehe was shocked, shouted. Protector Yunhai didn't refute either. This is indeed the case. Although true Lord Xueyang is only at the Mahayana stage now, but his background is too deep, and he has been stuck in the Mahayana stage. It must be because he has not realized the original way that he is satisfied with. It can be seen from his shot. True monarch Xueyang took the space road, which includes the 2 paths of wind and water. Comprehend 2 ways at once. Moreover, these 2 paths are at least the 3rd rank origin, and if they are fused into the wind and rain origin, it will be the 2nd rank top avenue. At that time, if you realize the origin of the 2nd grade thunderbolt, you can be promoted to the origin of the 1st grade thunder. This is true monarch Blood Yang's ambition. The 1st rank of origin Tao, as well as the mystic I-mystic technique practiced by true monarch Xueyang, are the 1st order. Even if you don't integrate the sequence inheritance later, you can still follow the original path, or use the strength of your body to specialize in spiritual power. Hadao has also become relatively simple. It's easier to become emperor. Such a perfect path of cultivation. Without asking, one knows that Yang Dingtian designed it himself. It's a pity that true monarch Blood Yang is too conceited. She was stupid enough to take someone into the double-faced divine mansion and take an adventure in an ancient magic palace. Looking at the desperate Xuyang Jinjuan, Yunhai Guardian, and Xuehe Patriarch only had disdain in their eyes. It's stupid not to have a background. This is not worthy of respect. If you want others to look up to you, then make good use of resources to cultivate, and when your strength is close to that of your big brother, come out and pretend to be noble. At that time, At least he was able to stand side by side with his own elder brother. The current Xueyang is just a small Mahayana monk who just wants to get rid of his big brother. Want to become super strong by yourself? It was a dream. Childish. Not only the patriarch Xuehe and guardian Yunhai think so. Even Fairy Ziyu and old man Tianqin are the same. The flattery at the beginning was nothing more than flattery. To be honest, true Lord Xueyang is also ignorant of current affairs. Jian Wushuang also thinks so. But this is a common problem of monks. Some Tianjiao with a strong background are very lofty. So lofty that they are conceited. There are also some Tianjiao with strong backgrounds who are too dependent, and eventually ruined by the doting of their relatives. Both are extremes. The real thing to do is not to be arrogant or impetuous, but also to have certain setbacks. Just like the current true monarch Xueyang. If he can go out again, then it is really possible to become a strong man in the future. It's a pity that no one can save him this time. Boom. Guardian Qifeng stopped the treasure that Xueyang Jinjuan came out with one hand. The treasure is good. It suppresses the power of soul concentration, but it has not exerted its original power at all in your hands. Guardian Qifeng smiled indifferently. It was not without reason that he was anxious to make a move, because he had known for a long time that true monarch Xueyang must have a treasure, so he rushed to make a move. In this way, the most precious treasure he took would be his. I thought it was just an ordinary treasure, and the strongest is just a medium treasure. In the end, I didn't expect that the treasure in Zuyang's body was a high-level treasure. Moreover, it is also a high-level treasure of the Jinling type. Take out high-level treasures that are enough to exchange for 2 or 3 attacking items. Even if you enter the ancient demon palace, you may not have such a big harvest. Haha, this treasure is mine. Guardian Qifeng didn't hold back his hands. His figure jumped over the attack and went straight to true monarch Xueyang. There is no way. The power of the supreme treasure is too powerful. Even if true monarch Blood Yang has not fully exerted it, it will take a lot of time for him to break through. After all, the supreme treasure is the supreme treasure that Yang Dingtian refined and completely merged with Blood Yang True Monarch. Otherwise, Blood Yang True Monarch is only a Mahayana stage monk. How could it be possible to manipulate a high-level supreme treasure? Seeing Guardian Qifeng rushing towards him, True Monarch Zuyang's mouth overflowed with blood. His eyes were full of unwillingness, but there was still a stronger consciousness that made him choose the final battle. Death to me. True Lord Xueyang suddenly raised his hands. His entire body exploded instantly. Streams of white light suddenly flashed, and a pair of huge doors of light suddenly appeared. No, that's not a light gate. Protector Yunhai, who saw the situation clearly, suddenly shouted angrily. Everyone stand down, don't get close. After speaking, even he himself started to back away. Old man Tianqin and Fairy Ziyu fled back with all their strength. The so-called light door is not a door, but a crack in space. This is not a void rift. This is a space crack. A space crack from the ancient world. A big world is very stable. Only the emperor can break through. But now that Xueyang Jinjuan exploded his body, he was able to draw a crack in space. Obviously he had a backhand. Guardian Qifeng was startled, and when he wanted to retreat, it was already too late. True monarch Xueyang, who had become transparent, grinned and said, "It's over. Infinite wind." Swish. As soon as he finished speaking, a white wind blew out from the crack in the space, instantly shattering true monarch Zuyang's spiritual body. And even the high-level treasure was swept away by the infinite wind and sucked into the crack in space. But the remaining infinite wind blows directly towards Qifeng Guardian. Qifeng Guardian itself is a practitioner of the origin of wind. The third grade of origin path. This path is the weakest path of the origin of wind. The origin of the second grade wind contains the 2 paths of wind and rain. The origin of Yiping Feng contains the 3 ways of wind, thunder and rain. But these sources are not enough to create infinite wind. Only a stronger ultimate source can use infinite wind. The ultimate source of wind contains all kinds of trails of wind, the origin of the strongest wind that merges. As a practitioner of the origin of the wind, Guardian Qifeng knew very well that if he was blown by the infinite wind, he would definitely die. How is it possible? Why does this kid have an infinite wind? There is no Taoist lord who is the source of the ultimate wind in the entire ancient world. How did he do it? Chiefing Guardian is curious, but should he avoid it or should he avoid it? Chapter 6395. He can't fall into the hands of a Mahayana monk. Otherwise, death is not reconciled to death. Feng Yin. The chiefing protector clasped the formula with both hands. The original source appeared, and the original power and immortal power burned at the same time. This is a great burden on him. Once he burns too much, it will be a big trouble for him to join the Tao in the future. Although it was a trouble in itself, I didn't want to make it worse. After burning 10%, he used Feng Yin to send infinite wind elsewhere. This trick itself can destroy all attacks. But when encountering an infinite wind, there is no way to hide it. Can only be sent away. The mighty infinite wind instantly destroyed the submarine canyon, and the surrounding seawater was blown into a wall of huge waves thousands of miles high. Everyone who was originally on the bottom of the sea can see the sky outside. This strange wind hurts me. Patriarch Xuehe saw the infinite wind blowing towards him, cursed secretly in his heart, and hurriedly avoided. Fortunately, the distance is still relatively far, so it is easy to avoid. But Wu Taidu and the green scale expert who were with him didn't have the speed to escape, and were directly crushed by the infinite wind, leaving no scum left. Both of their immortal artifacts were also shattered. Only high-level treasures can survive, and ordinary treasures cannot resist this level of attack. It was not only these two people who were unlucky, but also the two true immortals who were summoned by the guardian of the Sea of Clouds. One is the 9-step true immortal, whose strength is only slightly weaker than the Blood River Patriarch, and the other is the top expert among the 8-step true immortals, slightly stronger than the Jia true immortal. When the infinite wind blew, the two of them didn't even feel the power. They were swept by the white wind, and they were instantly strangled and turned into powder. There is bad luck and there is good luck. Fairy Purple Feather and Old Man Tianqian didn't need to dodge, and probably didn't have the ability to dodge, but the direction of the infinite wind was just opposite to them, so they stopped their figures. Looking at that mighty white wind, he couldn't help breaking out in a cold sweat. It's too strong. If I get a little bit of it, I'm afraid I'll fall. The Old Man Tianqian was afraid for a while. If he didn't die in the hands of Guardian Qifeng, it would be unlucky if he died in the white wind created by true monarch Bloodyang in the end. Fairy Ziyu looked at the corner where Jian Wushuang was originally, which had been chewed to pieces by the infinite wind, so there was no need to think about Jian Wushuang's fate. This time I lost badly. Come carefully, die generously. Although the sorrow of the weak is not worth singing about, it is still somewhat sad. The wind gradually dissipated, and everyone gathered together again. Infinite wind is not infinite. In the end, the power was exhausted and the sea returned to calm. After everyone came to the previous position, a passage had already leaked there. Protector Yunhai and Patriarch Xuehe looked very embarrassed. This time the loss was not small, and all the men died. Seeing the faces of the two, Guardian Qifeng said angrily, "What kind of face do you show me? I have also consumed 10% of my divine power and original power. Do you know how many treasures are needed to replenish it?" Enough. Protector Yunhai suppressed his anger, and his expression eased after seeing the Old Man Tianqian was intact. Guardian Qifeng also knows that it is meaningless to talk about who loses at this time. The most important thing right now is to quickly enter the ancient magic palace. There is a lot of movement here, and maybe other strong men will come later. Don't forget, there are 4 great protectors and 10 true immortals in the double-faced shrine. It will be troublesome when you come here. Moreover, there are several strong men beside the palace master, whose strength is even stronger than that of the Dharma protector. Let's go in together. Guardian Yunhai took a look at Old Man Tianqian and Fairy Ziyu. He didn't feel at ease about keeping the two of them outside, so it was better to bring them in. Anyway, there is no danger in the ancient magic palace, and there is no record of the Taoist monarch falling when he goes wandering, and it's okay to bring it in. Now that the loss is so serious, there can be no more accidents. Since then, the two guardians and patriarch Xuehe brought Fairy Ziyu and Old Man Tianqin into the ancient magic palace. True monarch Bloodyang and true immortal Wuho have all fallen. Temple of Heaven City, in the meditation hall of a certain villa. A middle-aged man with a strand of white hair at the temple suddenly opened his eyes. There was a hint of sadness in his eyes, and a dull pain in his chest. That is the sense of tearing from the blood. Bloodson. He got up suddenly and rushed out of the meditation hall. With a flash of his figure, he had arrived at the hidden ancestral hall in the villa. The soul lamp that originally placed Jinju and Xueyang was extinguished. No. The middle-aged man with a tall and straight body roared to the sky, and there were bursts of cramps in his chest. He is Yang Dingtian, who is faintly number one in the covering ancient territory, powerful and talented. Although he is not a practitioner who came out of the Holy Land, the Holy Land has been wooing him. Even Gu Ting is wooing him, because he is likely to be the fifth emperor within the sphere of influence of the Holy Land. But now his own brother has died. With a tall and straight back, he knelt down in front of the memorial tablet enshrined in the ancestral hall with a plop. His eyes were red, and his voice was hoarse. "Mother, I'm sorry I didn't protect my brother well." The ancestral hall is very large, but there is only one tablet for worship. Yang Qianxue. This is the mother of Yang Dingtian and Xueyang Jinjuan. The two brothers grew up with their mother. As for their father, mother never said it, not even her name. Therefore, only the mother is enshrined in the tablet. How could he not be sad when his mother passed away and entrusted his younger brother to him? Now that Xueyang has fallen, this is his last relative in this world. After Yang Dingtian kowtowed his head 3 times respectfully with red eyes, he swore to his mother's spiritual tablet. "Mother, don't worry, I will definitely avenge Xueyang." After speaking, he got up directly and took out a token with the causal line of blood and yang on it. God Mountain. Relying on cause and effect to find Yang Dingtian here, he directly sent the sound transmission to the chief person in charge of Shenshan. After all, the sacred mountain belongs to the Holy Land, so you can't mess around. Swish. A figure appeared in front of Yang Dingtian. Seeing the person coming, Yang Dingtian asked directly with a cold face, "Take me to Zuyang's cave." The person in charge of Shenshan was a little embarrassed, and said in surprise, "Brother Yang, this is a bit against the rules." Yang Dingshan's eyes were fixed, and he squinted at the person in charge of Shenshan, and said word by word, "Didn't you hear what I said? Are you taking me there, or should I go by myself?" This sentence made the person in charge of Shenshan take a deep breath. He felt that something was wrong with Yang Dingtian before, and he didn't dare to talk about the rules anymore. Although this person is a righteous person, but where is his strength? And now he is angry. If he is killed, who will he ask for reasoning? After all, the world still speaks for itself. No one? The person in charge of Shenshan brought Yang Dingtian to the cave where Xueyang had settled in before, but no one was there. Yang Dingtian said angrily, "Is this the rule you said?" The person is not there, but the result registration shows that it is here, and the cause and effect of Bloodyang is also here. Chapter 6396. Brother Yang is happy and angry. I will investigate right away. The person in charge of Shenshan was also sweating. At the same time, he wondered why Yang Dingtian was so angry today. It seems that no one has offended him. Thinking of looking for true monarch Xueyang, his heart sank suddenly. After a while, it was found out that Fairy Ziyu had done all of this. Those who disguised their identities were Tianqin Old Man, Wuho Jinjuan and others. Bastards, do you take Shenshan as your home? Do what you want. The person in charge of Shenshan angrily said to his subordinates, I will arrest everyone involved in this matter, and I must find out Ziyu's motives. Yang Dingtian didn't have time to get angry with these people, so he left directly through the air with a cold face. On this day, he used all his connections to find the whereabouts of true monarch Bloodyang. In the end, he reversed the cause and effect at all costs, and found the whereabouts of true monarch Bloodyang. Double-faced Shenfu? Yang Dingtian let out murderous surprise in his eyes. At this time, all the disciples in the villa had also assembled. And when they heard that their young master had died in the double-faced god's mansion, they all geared up to kill them. As the number 2 person in the villa, Yuhua Tianjun, walked towards the heartbroken Yang Dingtian at this time. She leaned slightly and stepped forward to comfort her. Brother Yang, this matter is no small matter. Once you do it, it will overwhelm the ancient realm. The biggest fight, this will make Yuding laugh. And the double-faced Buddha is a member of the Holy Land. If you provoke one, a group will come. Xueyang is my only younger brother. If I don't take revenge, I will have no hope of reunion. When Yang Dingtian said this, everyone was shocked. They all know that Yang Dingtian loves his younger brother very much. But he didn't expect that Yang Dingtian would affect Hadao because of his younger brother's death. Then this battle must be fought. Yang Dingtian flicked his robe, turned around and said to everyone, "This matter is a matter of a certain person in Yang. I don't want you to get involved. I will arrange for you to leave the ancient domain of Fuhai later. I want to go to the 2 sides alone. Shunfu, no matter who kills my brother, I will take revenge. Brother Yang is going to take revenge, so let's leave like this. In the future, how will outsiders look at me? Isn't it just a double-faced Buddha? I have long wanted to meet him. I will go with Brother Yang." Lord Yuetian had always loved Yang Dingtian. How could he leave at this time? He immediately stepped forward and said, "Brother Yang, I said before, if you don't agree for a day, I will follow you all the time." Yang Dingtian was moved for a while, but his eyes became firm when he thought of the great revenge that had not been avenged. The others shouted one by one, "Count me in." Among the hundreds of true immortals in the hall, the weakest one is the 7-step true immortal. Not a single one retreated, and all of them were willing to follow Yang Dingtian to the double-faced divine palace to take revenge. Sooner or later there will be a battle in the Secovering area. I think it might as well be today. I don't know who yelled. Everyone was stunned for a moment, and then everyone said in surprise, "That's right. Today we will decide a contest. First help Brother Yang to avenge, and then take over the entire double-faced divine mansion in one pot. Anyway, it's inside our overlying sea region. There is no way to stop the battle at the Holy Land. If that's the case, then we have to prepare well." In the Temple of Heaven City, in just 1 hour, a plan to change the entire Secovering ancient region was conceived. Comparing with the little Jiujio of true monarch Xueyang, it is simply not on the stage. At this time, the double-faced divine palace knew nothing about it. Even the guardian chiefwing who entered the ancient magic palace did not expect that because of his actions, a war that swept across the Secovering ancient domain would be provoked. Inside the ancient magic palace, the few people who entered this place have already made a big circle here and searched the entire palace carefully. But they didn't have a single receipt, not even a single fairy grass, not a single fairy artifact. How is it possible? This ancient magic palace shouldn't have been explored before. Guardian Yunhai said in amazement. Could it be that someone wiped it all out before the double-faced divine palace was opened? Guardian Chiefing shook his head and replied, "No, the treasures here are likely to be taken away recently. I am in the air. I felt a breath of qi left by the fairy grass. Indeed, there was a strong smell of herbs inside the palace. If it had been taken away 10,000 years ago, the smell would have dissipated long ago." The 2 guardians looked at Patriarch Xuehe at the same time. There are 2 tokens. One is obtained by true monarch Xueyang, but he did not enter here until his death. And the other is obtained by Patriarch Xuehe. And he's already here. Don't look at me. We came in together. Maybe I can take the treasure right under your nose. Patriarch Xuehe was furiously stared at, and hurriedly explained. Guardian Chiefing said unhappily, "Xuehe, you don't really think of yourself as a good person, do you? Back then when the Whirlpool sect had treasures, you had the blood of many monks from the divine palace in your hands. Brother, do you think you did a good job in this matter?" The Guardian Yunhai, who was next to him, didn't say anything when he heard that there was such a thing, and just stood by and watched the joke. In fact, everyone knows that there are 2 ways to enter the palace. Entering the ancient magic palace through the main entrance, you can enter the relatively hidden sleeping mansion of the ancient magic, which is something that craftsmen cannot do. So when they enter this passage, they cannot enter the hidden mansion. The one who gets the token first will have a chance to enter, but it needs the blood of the ancient demon. It's not that the level of life can be contained at a certain level. The entire ancient world has long lost the ancient demon bloodline. Although the ancient demon played with various races and left a lot of blood, but it has been passed down to this day, and it has long been so thin that it cannot be estimated. Even if there is, I dare not show it. After all, the ancient devil is full of treasures, and the descendants of the ancient devil are naturally not bad. Therefore, the possibility of entering through the main entrance is almost zero, not to mention that he and Guardian Chiefing have been staring at him, and the Blood River Patriarch has never entered through the main entrance. Otherwise, I wouldn't try it with the blood of the beast. Now Guardian Chiefing is suddenly embarrassing Patriarch Shueha, and he just wants to help his concubine. I heard that many people from the Whirlpool God sect died at the hands of Shueha, and of course there were also experts from the Double-Faced God Palace. However, Shueha concealed it very well, killed everyone, and said to the outside world that it was done by the sect of the Whirlpool. Guardian Chiefing was very close to the sect of the Whirlpool, so Shueha naturally offended him. Finding fault now is clearly to mess with him. In just one day, he lost 2 of his subordinates, including his most promising immortal Jia, and then Qinglin fallen. The most troublesome thing is that Wu Taidu is also dead, and even the beasts in the beast nest are gone. He took a treasure and pressed it against the beast sect. The treasure will definitely not be taken back, and he offended the beast sect. After all, a divine beast is worth much more than a treasure, unless he is willing to make up for it. But now the receipt of entering the ancient magic palace is 0. It costs money to remind you. After reading it, remember to bookmark next time I update it so you can continue reading. Look forward to the exciting continuation. You can also use the mobile version to read freely anytime, anywhere. Chapter 6397. What compensation does he get? You can't use the treasure you used to make up for it, can you? It's fine to hold back the anger. And now he is being made difficult by Chief and Guardian. Even if the other party is the Guardian, he can't bear this anger at the moment. I said, if I didn't take it, I didn't take it. If you don't believe me, there is nothing I can do. Since there is no treasure here, I will go first. Patriarch Shueha turned around and wanted to leave with a blank face. But Protector Chiefing managed to catch the opportunity, so how could he give up and immediately blocked the way? Yin Yang said strangely. Why, want to leave after taking the treasure? I don't think it's that simple. Chiefing, don't bully me too much. Don't think you are a Taoist, so you want to bully me, Shueha. If you feel that I have taken the treasure and are not convinced, I can ask my elder brother to prove it. The ancestor of Shueha was completely angry and directly moved out of the backstage. Hearing his elder brother, Guardian Kaifeng's mouth twitched, but he didn't want to be outdone and said, Why, you started to use Chuxiong to suppress me? The 9-step immortal is the 9-step immortal. Can't scare me. Chuxiong, the head of the top 10 true immortals of the double-faced divine palace. Although the origin has not yet reached the level of perfection, the origin of his cultivation is the first-grade thunderstorm origin. The power of the origin is extremely fierce, and he also has a thunderstorm body, and the condensed immortal power is stronger than the average Taoist monarch. The key is that his divine eye inheritance has also been cultivated to perfection, and the 2 major sequences have been cultivated at the same time, and both have reached the level of perfection. The double-faced Buddha has said that once Chu Xiong takes the last step, the original source reaches the level of perfection, and when he becomes a Taoist monarch, he will be able to rival himself. He is also the second palace master of the future double-faced divine palace. Such a person has a higher status than the 4 guardians. However, Chu Xiong has been in seclusion and rarely goes out, so his influence is naturally SOSO. Otherwise, Chiefing would not care about the opponent's face at all, and would forcefully suppress the ancestor of Shueha. Guardian Yunhai couldn't stand it any longer. The two people who lost the most this time were him and Patriarch Xuehe. Originally, I wanted to watch a play, but I wanted to let Qifeng sing the bad face and sing the good face by myself, so that some treasures of the ancestor of Xuehe would come out. Let the opponent bleed. But now that the other party has moved out of his backer, if this continues, he will have to fight hard after a while. This is not good for anyone. After all, everyone is a powerful person. Brother Qifeng, Brother Xuehe, don't say a word. You can't fight in bed at this time. Don't let these little guys see the joke. Guardian Yunhai gave them a step up. At the same time, it also implies that Qifeng can't go on like this. Patriarch Xuehe glanced at it, cursed from the bottom of his heart, and didn't say anything else. The same is true for Qifeng Guardian. Seeing that the two stopped arguing, Guardian Yunhai continued to say, "That's right, we are all on our own, and this time we all lost a lot, so it's not too bad to leave like this. Why don't we work together to break through this situation? Let's go to the Xing Palace, and if we search again, we may not be able to find some treasures. The ancient devil's palace, after all, is just a palace, not the ancient devil's lair. Although the ancient demon is a special life with good talent, but poor comprehension, he is not a fool, and has arranged a lot of formations in his lair. To break through that kind of formation, only the emperor can do it. But a palace, a few Taoist monarchs can't break it outside, can't they break it inside?" Guardian Kaifeng's originally frowning brows relaxed for a moment, and a smile leaked out, and said, "Brother Yunhai has a way, I almost forgot. Our current state is the same as before, but the power is not as good as the ancient demon. Here again it's just a palace, the three of us work together. It's enough to break open inside, maybe there's a hidden secret room. This is the only way to do it now." Patriarch Xuehe also agreed. In fact, the one who suffered the least loss this time was the Guardian Qifeng. He just lost some immortal power and original power, but these also need treasures to fill. None of them want to give up this place even if there is a guaranteed delivery of the old man with a disability, who doesn't want to get some more treasures. After making up their minds, the three of them began to accumulate energy. The three hit together. "Don't burn the power first. Let's try to see if we can open it first. If we can't open it, then burn the power of immortality." Guardian Yunhai still reminded. But in this way, Patriarch Xuehe obviously took advantage. Guardian Qifeng originally wanted to say something, but thought of cooperating now, so he didn't say anything. "Do it!" Yunhai Guardian shouted. Boom! The three of them shot at the same time, each using their signature attack. Gathering at one point is the big compass array on the ground. Although it is a large compass formation, it is not the hardest place here. The entire ancient magic palace is made of special materials. If it can be disassembled and sold, it will be enough to sell hundreds of millions of immortal crystals. This kind of palace is comparable to the lairs of some top Taoist monarchs. There is no way in the age of ancient demons, there are no natural enemies. The number of powerhouses is very small, and most of the treasures were taken away by the ancient demons. They are the richest group of powerhouses, but there was also a disadvantage at that time. That is, there were no treasures. The treasure is the key to improving the overall strength of the human race. No one in the entire ancient world can refine the treasure, and the treasures they obtained were all found in the chaos. It is not a congenital treasure, but a treasure that was refined the day after tomorrow. As for why a large number of treasures float in the chaos, no one knows. As far as the current situation is concerned, no treasures can be born in the ancient world. Only some treasures obtained in chaos may be found in the inheritance left behind by some strong men after their fall. Because of the emergence of the treasure, the dangerous places in the ancient world seem a bit insignificant. Unless it is a treasure left by the ancient demon era, few strong people are willing to take risks, and most of them take risks in the chaotic void. After all, you can get the treasure, as long as you are a real immortal. Of course, the danger is great. Often the dangers hidden in some treasures and opportunities are beyond the level of true immortals, and many Taoist monarchs have fallen because of this. During the peak period of the Ascension era, the Taoists of the entire ancient world rushed into the chaotic void. At the beginning, almost everyone had a treasure, but as the number of people increased, the treasure became less and less rare. Until now, there are very few treasures in the chaotic void, and on average, only one will appear in 100 years. Therefore, most of the treasures are still circulating in the ancient world, and 99% of the treasures are traded. The probability of obtaining treasures by taking risks in the ancient world is pitifully small. During this period, it was a battle of Taoism, and the treasures seemed very pale, because there were not many. Most Taoist monarchs and true immortals were still pursuing the original Tao and the inheritance of divine eyes. In addition to these, there are also treasures in the Holy Land, but the treasures of the Holy Land are not supreme treasures, but a kind of rare treasure, and the strong in the Holy Land will also ride on the holy objects. Chapter 63-98. Powers are different from arcanas, and have different drivers. It can only be used if a certain sequence of the mystical eye technique has been practiced to perfection, which seems a bit niche. After all, not everyone can cultivate the divine eye sequence to a perfect level. This does not depend on the level of realm, but on the talent of understanding. For example, Wei Jiuxian in the Scarlet Eye realm back then, he was only in the divine appearance realm, and he was able to practice the third sequence of the divine eye mystery technique to a perfect level. Many true immortals can't do it, and of course there are some Mahayana monks who can. The main thing to look at is understanding, and there is time. Wei Jiuxian devoted himself to comprehending the secret method of the divine eye, without the confusion of the original source, and without creating his own skills, so he can naturally maintain a selfless state of practice. But in the ancient world, few people can do it. After all, everything costs money when you open your eyes. Even if you want to find a safe place to retreat in the city, you will be charged according to the time. That's why everyone is competing for resources. In an era of expensive and scarce resources, it is not only about comprehending the mystic art of the divine eye, or the original way. More resources are needed to live. This is true for Guardian Qifeng, Guardian Cloud Sea, and Patriarch Blood Sea. Don't want to let go of any opportunity. Just like the little bit of immortal power that Guardian Qifeng consumed before, he felt distressed for a long time, and he did not hesitate to offend Chu Xiong and let Xuehe bleed a little, just to make up for the lost immortal power. This is also a big expense for him. In the future, the road may be delayed because of this expense. The battle of orthodoxy is a boring era, and it is also the saddest era. If the path of cultivation comes to an end, I am afraid that the strong in the ancient world would have already gone to another world to find treasures and break through the emperor. Instead of staying in the ancient world and fighting among themselves, fighting for the illusory orthodoxy. But this kind of mistake every world will fight. Finally, choose the simplest and most efficient practice system. If nothing else, it must be Yuanyuan Dao Hu Wan. After all, this is much simpler than the mystic eye technique. The demise of the ancient demon era allowed the race to grow and gain its rightful place. Now he has to be dug up by the human race. This is also a kind of sadness. Haha, it succeeded in one attempt. This compass is an innate material, and it can be sold for a good price. At least 5 million immortal crystals. Guardian Qifeng greedily licked the corner of his mouth. 5 million immortal crystals is already a very good receipt. After all, 5-step true immortals are generally worth millions of immortal crystals. Old Man Tianqian and Fairy Purple Feather are not ordinary ranks of true immortals. One has a big secret, and the other has a very strong background and connections. Naturally, his worth has multiplied many times, at least comparable to the worth of 6-step, or even 7-step true immortals, all between 3 million and 5 million. And this time receiving 5 million immortal crystals is already worth a 7-step true immortal. It's just a little innate material, so you're so happy? The ancestor of Xuehe looked stern, and took the opportunity to ridicule a wave of strange wind guardians. Anyway, the two of them also tore their faces, so there is no need to be polite. Guardian Qifeng touched his chin and said mockingly, You still don't believe me, you earth leopard. Am I happy for these 5 million immortal crystals? Am happy that I can easily break this compass. Here you can easily destruction. We can do the same for other places. The value of the entire ancient magic palace is at least 100 million immortal crystals. Do you understand? That's not bad. Although guardian chiefing is rude and cruel, he also has a careful side. After hearing this, Patriarch Shueha sneered and shook his head, and didn't raise his argument again. It was true that he was out of character just now, and he wanted to take the opportunity to ridicule guardian chiefing. As a result, people didn't take themselves seriously at all, and they thought differently. Obviously, the structure was higher and bigger. 100 million immortal crystals. Even the 9-step immortal is not worth so much. Even Patriarch Shueha, a strong among true immortals, can't get 100 million immortal crystals at once, unless he sells them as treasures. But one of the treasures has been used for tens of thousands of years, and it has long been familiar with it. It is the biggest reliance on combat power today, so how can it be sold? Therefore, most of the people who can take out 100 million immortal crystals at once are still Daojun powerhouses. Haha, what Qifeng said is right. This time we really didn't come in vain. Maybe we can destroy the entire ancient magic palace. At that time, the materials alone will cost at least 100 million. If we can dig out some special innate materials, 200 millions are possible. Guardian Yunhai was also very happy. The materials worth 5 million yuan were gathered into a pile first, but I didn't say much, about 10,000 caddies. Most of this material is used for refining fairy artifacts. Of course, if you are willing to refine the element, you can, but at least the refined element is the best element. The ancestor of Shueha was also imprinted with excitement, but his face remained indifferent and said, "Go ahead and dismantle it. The disturbance just made is not small, don't attract other people at that time." Okay, this time we choose. Guardian Yunhai began to choose a place, etc. But Protector Qifeng interrupted Protector Yunhai's words. At this time Protector Yunhai turned his head and looked a little impatiently. "Qifeng, what's wrong with you? Brother Yunhai, don't you think something is wrong?" Guardian Qifeng said, squinting at Patriarch Shueha. The ancestor of Shueha, who was being stared at, immediately said angrily, "Qifeng, you'd better not make trouble at this time. Otherwise I will make the matter here public. And even if I don't have a dime, I won't let you take it all. Hehe, am not that despicable, and I understand the truth." Guardian Qifeng said calmly. Seeing this, Guardian Yunhai frowned and said, "Then what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?" Guardian Qifeng walked up to the mountain of innate materials, picked up a fragment, weighed it in his hand a few times, and then said, "Of course it's money. The three of us have to discuss it first. How to divide afterward. So you wanted to say this?" Guardian Yunhai was taken aback for a moment, and then understood. 3 people contributed. 2 are Daojun, and 1 is Jubu Jinxian. He suffered too much from Guardian Qifeng. It seems that the 3 of them are trying their best to destroy the ancient magic palace. But the power of Daojun and Jubu Jinxian is different. Daojun's casual blow is the full blow of Jubu Jinxian. Even if Patriarch Zuhi's unique skill is much stronger than that of ordinary 9-step true immortals, it can barely reach 1/3 of the attack power of the 2 of them. This is not a big loss. As soon as Patriarch Zuhi's heart sank, he knew that this would be involved, so he kept putting on a bad face just now, as if he was at a disadvantage, but in fact he made money. Now that he was pointed out by Guardian Qifeng, he couldn't pretend anymore, so he began to argue. Guardian Qifeng has some truths. He agrees with the other person's words first, so that he can talk, instead of another verbal battle. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.